Oh,
Ooh, would you look at that? You got one of them, them button-down shirts.
yeah. All right. So that was a good show.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see
Have
you
a
next
good
week.
day. Take care,
Oh, wait,
everyone.
whoa, what's this?
What are you doing? You all right there?
Yeah, my thing's all wiggly.
You forget how to work it?
Yeah.
Gotta tighten it sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I leave this little thing loose though, so I can move it. So I can,
Yeah.
you know.
That makes sense.
But the bottom, I ignore. All right. Yeah, JD. What's today?
Well, today, besides having a little snack,
And what are we going to talk about?
we're going to talk about entertainers
What
and
is that
mental health.
about? Entertainers and mental health.
And mental health.
Aren't they synonymous for each other? I don't know.
I mean, you gotta be a little bit crazy to be an artist.
What do you mean?
I mean, look at us.
Yeah, I'm awesome and you're crazy.
I mean, that is half totally true.
I'm only awesome because I don't have an ego because I'm too good for that.
For the record, I literally almost just choked and died on my carrot.
Yeah. I like that JD's eating literally the loudest possible food you can have, which, by the way, for mental health, there are people that have triggers from hearing that. From they were younger, they used to get their bones broken. Anyway, what's your name?
Ted.
All right, go ahead, JD.
So today, I want to talk a little bit about entertainers and mental health and things that they could potentially do to overcome any struggles they might be having.
You said come.
I did. I mean, sometimes you gotta, you gotta come a little bit.
Hey, can you be a little serious?
I mean, I could be a tall serious as well if I stand on some boxes, some phone books.
What's going on?
Well, where are we today? Well, basically, I wanted to start off by giving some pointers here,
Okay.
and I'm sure you've heard a couple of stereotypes about entertainers being like the struggling artist or like the depressed and sad musician or
What's that have
there's
to
some
do
sort
with
of like,
stereos, though?
well, because you got to plug them in
Oh,
like
all right.
stereo.
Oh, I see. That's pretty funny.
Sometimes they're they got the little red wires and the little white wires for audio.
Are they red, white, and blue?
I mean, usually it's red, white, and yellow. Yellow for visual.
You're
it's like a
weird.
video.
Anyway, all right, go ahead.
So basically, there's stereotypes because there are definitely have been proven links between people who struggle with some sort of mental health. You're breaking stuff.
Yeah, I broke some.
Don't do that.
Go ahead.
There have been links between mental health and people who create the arts.
Fun fact: Link is usually referred to as Zelda.
Even though that it's completely wrong.
Yeah.
Well, what's the little like fairy's name though?
The fairy?
Yeah, that like follows Link around.
Yeah, Elton John.
I don't think he has wings.
Wait, what? Oh, look at this.
What are we looking at?
Justin Blair. Anyway, keep going. Keep
All right.
going.
So there's definitely a link between artists, so like actors, writers, musicians, painters, etc. Anyone who gravitates toward creating some sort of art and whatever medium, and mental health disorders. And there is studies that show that people with mental illness tend to be attracted to creative jobs or fields, according to Albert Rothenberg of Psychology Today.
Yeah. What about Psychology Tomorrow?
Well, that hasn't happened yet.
When does it happen?
Soon.
When will soon be now?
What will then be now?
Soon.
Soon. You find anything? We found shoot.
We found shoot. All right. That's an interesting article you just read.
Yeah, it was a little tidbit from the article.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, there's also in 2017 there was
what year?
That was 1492.
Oh, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
He did.
And got lost.
Yeah, so there's definitely that link there, but there's something that I find myself thinking about, fairly often, just because it's something that I have struggled with before I met you, and even now. How is it that some people with mental illnesses, there's people that are struggling with their mental health, are able to have full and like successful careers in like varying degrees, and there are some people who just aren't able to, who want to have a successful career in entertainment, but are not able to go past just the hobby mentality. And something that I think, I guess, clicked with me when I first met you,
yeah,
was the fact that one of the first things you taught me like right off the bat.
Other than tying your shoes.
Other than tying my shoes, which I cheat because the boots that I have are a zip up. Oh, you.
I should tighten. Just trying to get this nice. Okay.
Is this what it's like when I'm just messing around with the
Yeah.
microphone?
Yeah. I'm actually performing as JD today, but go ahead. Just to
All right,
give a
hold
little
on,
heads up.
wait. I gotta grow more of a beard, and you have to shave yours. Got you something.
Now go ahead.
What's it saying?
I don't know.
Oh yes,
I drift in and out.
I drift in and out. Something that I think is a big contributing factor is the fact that people who are able to work past whatever it is that they're struggling with are able to make themselves goals. They're able to set goals. Whether
People
it's
that are struggling are able to make goals.
people that are struggling that are able to have a successful career are able to make goals for themselves.
What do you mean?
And one of the first things that you
Wait. You're confusing me. So people that are struggling have the ability to make goals.
Let me rephrase myself. I skipped a couple of words in there. People that are struggling but are still able to make their careers successful, are able to make those goals. Whereas the people who are not able to have a successful career struggle with making goals.
Would you say, according to I only briefly read over it, I could be wrong. I believe it's saying those who make goals, it gives them direction. And for those who can follow that direction, find success. So it's not necessarily the ability to make the goals that helps them be successful.
Well, one of the other points that was made up in the notes that I came up with is that
you came up with it. Oh, well, we need stats and
well, the stats are in the links in the notes.
The stats are. This is what it sounds like.
One of the other points was that yes, you are 100% correct. Like,
I know.
Having those goals keeps you on track because
it's something to be on track for. That's what it was saying.
Yes.
Yeah. But the goals themselves don't keep you on track.
Then yes.
Yeah. The goals are a tool to focus on something. So your ADHD or your depression or something else doesn't interfere with you. You can literally just focus on what you need to do by looking at your list. It summarizes and shrinks down the massiveness, the massive anxiety or fear, or the overwhelming sensation, because you can say,
because you're able to break things down into smaller, smart goals. So you can be like, oh, this is,
Yeah, but to be clear, just so I understand, because I'm a little confused, you're not saying that because they have mental health issues, it gives them the ability to write.
Oh, no.
And you're also not saying a successful person with mental health issues it gives them the ability to write smart goals.
No. Right. I'm not saying that the mental health struggle
or success.
That having the struggle does not give you the ability to do this. What I'm saying is having the ability to set goals gives you the ability to work past whatever it is you're struggling with.
Well, what's your problem?
Everything.
Anyway, go ahead.
But that's what I was saying. Like when I first met you, I basically I would have an idea. I did.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. When I first met you, I definitely had trouble setting like realistic goals. I had these pipe dreams, which were definitely, far from a goal. Like I was like, oh yeah, I want to be successful with music, and I want to.
You had good goals. You set to write a song, you did it. You set to do a show, you did it. You set to practice, you did it.
But those goals were aimless. There was no.
Those aren't aimless.
There was no long-term goal. It was I want to do this thing.
Writing a song is a long-term goal. How long does it take to write a song?
Well, it had no long-term goal for my career.
Yeah, well, you don't know that. That song could become a hit.
Yeah, but
what are you telling artists? Their creations are nothing?
Not at all.
See, now I have mental health issues, and now you're making me feel like I have no value in my creations.
Well, it's not my fault. You're crazy.
All right. You hear that, everyone? If you have mental health issues, your art doesn't mean anything.
That's not it. That's not it at all.
I'm making this easy for JD. He's actually having a mental health issue right now.
My anxiety was at a steady 5. Yeah. Now it's at least a 72.
Yeah, my mental health is fine when I'm actually just doing it to other people.
Thomas, how do you remain so calm and cool all the time? Oh, I just, give it to other people.
Yeah, my anxiety doesn't hurt me when I'm making other people have anxiety.
You're just like, this is funny on the other side.
All right, so you're saying you didn't have long-term goals, but I don't agree with that because you used to say, let's write a song, and you guys would do it. So that's an ability to create a goal. But you weren't talking about goals in general for a successful career, even though goals can help you have a successful career. Goals themselves do not make a successful career.
So are you making the argument that I did have the goals, but they were just misplaced?
They weren't misplaced. They were what you wanted. You wanted to write music, so you set goals to write music. You wanted to play shows. The things you cared about the most, you worked on. The things you didn't care about the most, you didn't think about. And that's why you didn't use your business brain, because you didn't care about the business. You just wanted your art, your thing you liked, to make you money.
Which in reality is not the case. I meant like
that's what
I meant was, in reality, that's not how it works.
Yeah, no, that's not true. It works that way. It just takes a lot longer. You can write a song today and give it to everybody in the world, and eventually somebody will say, "Do you have another song?" And you go, "Yeah." Do you want to buy it? And they go, "Yeah, I'll buy that song. I like that song." The numbers game works. It's just it takes longer,
and it doesn't build brand loyalty.
It does.
How?
The number game builds brand loyalty. You just have to consistently do it. So, to do that, you have to do advertisement. An advertisement is, do you want to listen to the song? Do you want to listen to the song? Do you want to listen to the song? And eventually someone's going to say, yeah. And then you got to ask them every freaking week, did you like that song? Do you want to listen to another song? I got another song. And you got to do that all the time because you're the one intriguing them. They're not intrigued themselves. So it still works, though. You can still eventually get somebody to say,
so basically, you're saying that I would be the one tickling their pickle. They're not tickling their own pickle.
Correct. Or rather, they're not tickling your pickle with interest. But, like it's the same way you used to sell tickets for shows. You would pay for them. I mean, you would ask people.
What?
When you had shows, you'd be like, let's do the show. We only have to sell 30 tickets. So let's pay for 20 of them and sell 10. But, when you ask someone to buy a ticket, you're doing the same thing. It's not a bad way to do it. It's just one way to do it. Success is whatever you define it. If you wanted to just play shows and make money, sell tickets, you'll make money. But go ahead. What?
I feel like everything you just said right now completely negates most of everything that you've ever said.
No, it does not.
Well, could you clarify?
Yeah, because my definition of success is making a living within your field of interest. But by you saying that's not a valuable long goal or a smart goal is negating anybody that kind of just wants to enjoy themselves. Even if you're saying they want a career in music or art. If their career is a hobby, like, oh, I get to play on the weekends or I get to write music, I make money. So it's still success to them. We just didn't define success in the beginning of the episode. You would just, but what are you giving me that look for? You were just assuming to have a smart goal makes a successful career. And then you said you didn't have long goals and smart goals, and you did. That's why I was just clarifying that for the audience.
Well,
because it didn't make any sense.
I was not making a living within my field of interest when I met you, and therefore I deem myself not reaching success.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with not being able to create long goals and smart goals. You still were able to do that. You had that skill. What were you missing?
Definitely knowledge is one thing.
I wouldn't say it's knowledge. I would say it's perspective. I would say your perspective was on what you like to do and not on what you didn't like to do. And that's the problem with people that have mental health issues is they are enjoying those serotonin rewards to do the things that they like. So like if you create something or you eat a certain food or you watch a movie that you like, the serotonin in you is going to be a reward, and you become
stuck in a routine.
You create a habit to do that. So when you feel down, you do that thing. It's like buying something periodically on Google or Amazon. You're just like, I like the feeling of buying something. I'm going to get something new. So that fills up serotonin, but.
So I have a question. Maybe this is more of a philosophical thing.
Sure.
So why is it that like you just said, like buying something new and having that new thing arrive, why is that feeling of new is a reward automatically, or subconsciously, I should say, by the brain, whereas like trying to do like a new routine is deemed not the same way.
I don't know if that's an accurate question, because if I'm trying to do something new, if I'm interested in doing it, it will reward me with a serotonin burst. If like I decided that I really wanted to work out, like I really wanted to work out, I would end up making actions to do that. And every little step of success would give me a serotonin boost because I feel I accomplished something I wanted to do. And that's an artist brain versus a business brain. Business brain does things they don't want to do
because they know
so
that
they
the
can-
reward
will be what they want to do. Whereas artist brain usually does whatever they just do the reward. I just like writing music, so I'm going to write music. I like playing shows. I like whatever it is, like acting. I like writing. I like, could be anything, whatever that is. But again, smart goals themselves, though, is a skill, and it doesn't necessarily equate to success. You have the perspective, and people with mental health, they fall into these
patterns.
These patterns of habits. The habit is to get that refill of serotonin.
Do you think
all the time?
Do you think? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that the reason why artists tend to fall into these habits of just like going back to the art is because they initially are gravitated towards the art because they find that serotonin release that helps them work through stuff, and then they just use that as basically a
drug?
crutch?
Oh yeah, yeah, but I don't think they think like that. I don't think anybody's going serotonin. Let me do that.
Yeah,
they're not doing it. But it's the reward, the joy.
Unless they're a chemist or a psychiatrist.
Well, like imagine deciding to cancel out everything you're doing to do the one thing you like doing. That's artist brain, and the reason is because the reward is instantaneous. And that is not business brain. That's all artist brain. And that's what people with mental health deal with. They want to get out of that pain or that rut or that feeling of lack of control. So they do something they have control in that they actually like doing, which could be eating, writing, swimming, whatever. It could be something small too. It could be sitting outside with a cup of coffee. And that moment they feel rewarded.
Question for you.
Right.
Being that you and I are both vocal about like our own personal struggles.
What?
And everything.
I don't have struggles. I'm just fat.
Wait, what?
What?
At what
See,
point?
He didn't say I'm not fat. See,
you're not fat.
See, he thinks I'm fat now. I mean, now that I said it. Anyway, go ahead.
At what point did you find?
What point? I found myself. Okay.
Being able to separate that. The distinction between art. At what point were you able to separate the two mindsets? And at what point was there any point where art was that sort of like serotonin for you? Was there a point where art was a release or like
art is always a release for me? Since I was born, I have been a creative force since I was born. I started drawing when I was a young lad.
A wee lad.
A wee lad.
A wee
I would sit there by the fireplace and just draw with the fire, hopefully burning my face off. But
I'm
it never
kind of
happened.
imagining 3-year-old Thomas in a diaper drawing with a full beard.
I was out of diapers by 15, buddy. Anyway, but that question is relative to this question.
So
why do you write music?
So at what point in your life was there that? At what point do you feel like you were able to make the conscious effort to be like, listen, I got to put this aside and focus on the business aspect?
When I wanted a career.
Well, yeah, but like what was like the instance? What age was it? When you were? Was it before Tenebra? Was it?
No, it was during Tenebra. It was during Tenebra. There was a point where I was just like. I relied on my music and my shows to get me a career. And then I was like, well, I want a career. So I have to actually create a career. It's like if you want a job at Kinko's of all places, but you want to one day be a CEO. You got to make the effort to go work
at Kinko's
at the crappiest position possible at Kinko's. You got to start. You don't go, well, if I'm the greatest copier in the world or the best graphic artist in the world, they'll just hire me as a CEO because I have 6 years of college. I have a doctorate in Photoshop. you know what I'm saying? Like they'd be like, okay, well, we have an opening in store 638
for the register.
And you go, okay. Sometimes you might get a manager, but again, you're still starting at a level that's not necessarily where you want to be, which is the problem with artists. They start where they want to be. I want to be making money with my music, so I'm going to do shows and write out and make albums. I want to start as a comedian that is a headliner, so I'm going to just start doing my own shows, even though I don't even have 1 minute of good comedy. You know, I want to be a writer, so I'm just going to write a book and publish it. But I want to be a successful writer, so I'm just going to write a book and publish it. Right? It's that mentality that cancels out success because you're not running your business.
You're following a pipe dream.
No, I want to have a successful donut shop, so I'm going to make donuts. Like that's the mentality of it. Is like if I have the thing, it'll be successful. Why? Well, because I like doing it, and it's my thing, so it has to be successful. Obviously, I have to put work into it, so I have to make a lot of donuts. You know that's the mentality, and that, by the way, is a mental health thing. That's because you create these. You want that instant reward, and you have these twists, these tornadoes of emotions driving you, and then once you look at what you have to do, it seems overwhelming, and that's where being good with writing smart goals and long goals and being able to stick to a regiment, even in small increments, helps with accomplishing these major overwhelming tasks.
Because you're saying that having those the smaller smart goals gives that a close equivalent of that quick release, because you're able to do something, or multiple
Maybe,
things
I don't know.
in a day and be like, oh, I accomplished something. So you get that serotonin.
I can't agree or disagree with that, only because again, you're doing things that you don't want to do, so you might not get the serotonin.
Well, I'm not saying that the actual I'm not saying specifically that the task would give you it, but the feeling of like, okay, this is checked off of my list.
That's probably personal to everybody individually. Like maybe some people don't feel accomplished when they're doing things they don't like. When you write a song, do you feel more accomplished writing the song, or do you feel more accomplished playing the song, or do you feel more accomplished when you're doing something that has zero to do with the music? Which one makes you feel the best? Which one helps you with your anxiety the most?
I would say the writing.
And that's why you'll never be successful if that's the mind of an artist. Writing will never make you successful. That's just a terrible thing to hear. But
well, that was a different. That doesn't make any sense. You said which one makes me feel the best. You didn't say which one would.
But that's the thing you do. That's the thing you will do to feel the best. It's answering your question. If I accomplish a task, and accomplishing the task, not the task itself, but accomplishing it makes me feel better. You just answered that it wouldn't make you feel better. What makes you feel better is writing. That's the thing you would rather feel better doing. The task might not make you feel better. The task is going out and talking to people. The task is organizing your bills. The task, you know what I'm like sitting there trying to figure out how to write a social media post is a task that I don't think when you finish it, you feel relieved and excited and happy. And you're like, let me do another one. But when you write music, you're probably like, I just finished this one. I actually, I could probably work on another one because there was something I was working on that made me inspired me to do another song. I don't believe writing a social media post leads to that inspiration of joy over, like, say, you writing music. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
And that's why I say the task itself would not necessarily. Some people, they get that I achieved something, like that makes me feel good. But other people, I called somebody today. Whew, man, there's zero serotonin coming out of me. I had to talk to someone. I had to call them. That took 20 minutes just to pick up the phone. Then it was ringing, and I was like, please go to voicemail. And I was like, great, I have the best message to leave. And then they picked up. And then I had to talk to him. I'm like, this is going to be 30 minutes of my life gone. And then it took 45 minutes to talk to him about nothing just so I can maintain a friendship. And then you hang up and you go, I feel good about that task. So I stand by that. We don't know. Some people might feel good about accomplishing a task, but I don't necessarily believe
It does not have the same reward as doing the art thing that people would prefer to be doing, is what you're saying.
That's why tasks don't necessarily equate to success. It's that perspective of how to handle the tasks and how to handle your goals that will lead to success. You have to change your brain.
So when you say the way you handle the tasks, are you saying like the ability to make those tasks?
No.
Or I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Well, do you like writing music or calling somebody up that you don't know?
The first one.
So you have to change your brain to the perspective of how to handle calling someone up and making that fun. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's very difficult because the reward of calling someone up that you don't know to just talk about nothing so you could build a friendship and not necessarily ask. That's the other thing. Like, if imagine having that anxiety, hypothetically speaking, you have to call someone. And when you don't have anything to ask for or anything to offer, it's very difficult to just call up somebody that you barely know, that you just want to build a relationship with, because there's no instant reward. And that's the other part of an artist's brain, is that perspective. I don't have an album or a book or a screenplay or a movie to promote or tell this person about. I'm not even doing anything with my life. So what am I going to talk about? And then they're going to tell me what they're doing. And then what if I have nothing to offer in the conversation? Like, it's that downward spiral.
Getting caught in that train of anxiety fueled.
It could be anxiety, depression, and ADD. It could be whatever. You could be like, oh, let me call them and talk about my movie. Oh, you know what? Actually, before I do that, let me at least organize my marketing plan so I at least memorize it and have. Oh, speaking of marketing, what the really good thing about marketing is that I could do a good design. Oh, if I have a really great logo for the movie before I talk to I should go to Kinko's. That's ADHD. You know what I'm saying? And then all that ends with, but maybe I should do the dishes before I go to Kinko's, just so like I come home to a house with clean dish, empty sink. And that has nothing to do with,
that's like, all over the place.
That has nothing to do with goal setting. But, but perspective changes your behavior. That's the only reason anyone would go to therapy to work on mental health issues, because what do they teach you? Tools to work through an episode. Like if somebody's having anxiety, what's the first thing they tell you to do? Identify what's real and what's not real. What can you control? What can't you control? And you start talking it back until you're to a baseline. It's the same thing with depression. When you start thinking, I'm better off dead. And it's like, well, why? What am I doing right now? Like, why am I having this thought? You justify, you clarify,
They teach you to step back and analyze it.
Yeah, but they teach you to change your perspective and how to handle it. And that's how a goal becomes valuable. If you don't have that skill set to adjust your behavior, it doesn't matter how many goals you have. And it also doesn't matter what you think success is, because you're not going to achieve it.
Because you don't have the proper perspective to work through it.
Yeah, and if you think you have the proper perspective and it's all based on the creation aspect, you will also not be successful, because creation is not a path to success. Creation is the reward.
Build it, they will not come.
That is true. Like I've always hated
Kevin Costner.
No, yeah, he still owes me $20. I've always hated movies or stories or people. In general, that write or give advice on, like, well, you have to have something for people to be interested in. And it's like you are the something that people have to be interested in, and like movies like Kevin Costner's, the Field of Dreams, where like, if you build it, they will come. Of course they're gonna come. It was filled with ghosts that were all legends in baseball.
It was a paranormal movie. Yeah. If anything, it was an X-Files episode.
I know, everyone was. I gotta see this for myself. Who's Babe Ruth is gonna be there?
Listen, they built it in that game.
Yeah, they didn't come because they built it. They came because of the
Kevin
brand
Costner.
Value. Yeah, they were also like, Kevin Costner's out in the farms. I'm going.
Is he dancing with some moles out there?
If he's not dancing with wolves when I get to the field, depression's keeping me home.
Wait, how's that even mathematically work out?
Well, because you're making a reason. Well, I'm not gonna. That's what happens when you have mental health issues. It's like you find reasons not to do something. Like, for example, I hope it goes to the voicemail.
I see what you're saying.
Or like if someone calls up, or like 30 minutes is like, hey, I didn't hear about today. Are we confirming? If you want to reschedule, you give them an out.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we can reschedule. And you're like, yeah.
This didn't work.
And then the next anxiety pops up. Well, what am I going to do with my time now? Oh, you know what? I could work on that thing I wanted to work on. And then you pick up your guitar. Which, by the way, if you pick up your guitar, what are you not doing?
What you should be doing.
Yeah, you're not working. People think creating is working. Like when I work on the Enchanted Isles thing, I am technically not creating. Why?
Because it's actually work that's meant to expand BBR and help people.
Well, it's solving a problem. Now, if I instead worked on a story for Enchanted Isles to role play through, that is creative. But I am actually developing a brand new mechanic system for role-playing games, and that will therefore solve a problem. If I was working on a car, there's two, right? If I was working on a car because I wanted to restore it, that is me having a creative time. That is me not working. But if I was working to enhance, say, the windshield wiper system or the way the doors work or whatever the case may be, now I am working. And that's the big difference. Like if I'm writing a song.
So basically, if you were doing something that you were able to, if you were, like you said, if you were able to solve a problem or give back to people, that would be considered working. As opposed to just, I'm going to restore this, Model T.
Or even more important, if I was restoring a Model T by myself, that is not working. That's creative time, right? However, if I asked other mechanics that I became friends with to come and help me because I wanted to get into that world of being a mechanic, now they're seeing my skill level, but we're just hanging out in my backyard working on a car. Another thing is, let's say I want to be in the music industry or the acting business, and I still like working on cars, and I find out other people in that field like working on cars. I go, why don't you come over? I'm working on a Model T. We could work on it together. And they go, okay. And now you're bonding. Now I am working. And that's the difference. Like we were talking yesterday. I'm like, what do you're doing your project by yourself for yourself because it's for you.
And it's not working.
It's not working. It's all, and even no matter how many times you go, yeah, but it's going to benefit this. It's good. I'm going to raise money for mental health. Well, how are you raising money for mental health right now? And how is the thing you're doing raising awareness for mental health? Are you going to wait until the album is done to raise awareness? Because then what you're doing is creative. So if what you're doing is influencing other things at the time you are doing it, now you are working. But if it's just creative,
then it is not working.
Then it is not working. Creativity is a reward. I'm not saying don't be creative. That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying that there is a difference in being creative and then working.
Yeah, it's like when people come to me and they're like, let's say they're actors and they like acting on the stage or whatever. The first thing I say is just don't if you just focus on performing and acting, you'll never be successful. But I'm not saying don't act. And I'm also not saying don't perform on stage. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you allow those things to be your purpose to succeed, you will fail. Like if you just go, well, if I just keep acting, I will be successful. You're going to fail.
Because it is that those instances are about you, where we already have established multiple times in this podcast that success is not about you. It's about those around you.
Well, yeah. And also you're being creative. If I am acting, I'm being creative. If I am acting so I get noticed in a full entourage ensemble for whatever play, but it's only for me, I am being creative. But if I put together a show and bring people that I want to build relationships with to that show to work behind the curtain and in front of the curtain, and we work together to make the show an event, the show is not creative. All that other stuff is working. All that other stuff is what's going to help your career. But if you do that, like let's say I want to get 10 of my friends to work on this, but all you're focusing on is making sure you're the best performer, your lines are great, blah, blah, blah. Now you're being creative again, and therefore that venture is going to fail. What you should really be able to do is business first,
art second.
Yeah. So if you put a show together, you should have your plan in action to a point where you make time for yourself to be creative outside of your job. When I used to do shows at the Rose Theater, right? Like, or even when I was at Arena Players for a year, being paid for a year as an actor on stage, I still ran BBR. So what would I do? I would run BBR for 8 to 9 hours, sometimes 12 hours a day. And once I was done with my day, that's it. Once I was done with my day, I then would probably eat, and then I would work on my lines, because the lines were the reward. I did everything. BBR allows me to do whatever I want, right? So I have to give that my time. Did I want to be good in the play? Absolutely. So I have to manage my time and do my job. And then after my job is done for my career, I'm allowed free time. And you have to make that sacrifice in the beginning until you're at a point where, let's say I have 2 production companies, a studio, I have a record label, a not-for-profit, I got all these things going, and they're just making me money. And occasionally I could walk into those things and be like, let's do something together. Then I could do whatever I want. I could focus on only being creative. If I wanted to just write music for the rest of my life and I have that scenario, all I have to do is check the numbers every 3 months.
Like, how am I doing? We good?
Yeah. Is everyone getting paid? Am I getting paid? Is the business growing?
Are we giving back to the
Are we giving back to society? Are we helping people? Are we
saving the animals?
Well, animals.
I mean, people are kind of like animals.
You eat hamburgers.
They're delicious.
Yeah, but you got to cook them first.
Says you.
The cows are always like, what are you doing, buddy?
Oh.
Bill the bull over there is
I don't feel like that would go over too well.
No. Anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I think I feel like I find myself contemplating why some people are able to make that distinction between why some people are able to change their perspective.
I could tell you.
I would love an answer.
All right, here you go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Because they want to.
Thanks.
Thank you. When I talk to people, or I work with people, or I team up with people, the moment they don't give me 100% for that thing, and by the way, 100% doesn't mean you have to be there all the time. 100% means that your first purpose is that goal, and everything else is secondary, right? With an agreement, right? But the moment it doesn't feel that way, it's because you don't care. Right? Even if you care, you don't care, because what do you care about? The thing you're putting time into. You know, like I tried to work with somebody tried to get a couple people together for a project, and everybody in the project was a nobody. I was just trying to get people to work together and be like, let's just it was strictly to build relationships.
And that was it.
I knew these people, they wanted to do something. They liked my writing. They said, let's do something. But they all wanted me to pay them because they knew I had money. And I was like, I'm not going to pay you to hang out.
And do something for fun.
Because there's no way the project we film, which is only going to be 30 minutes, is going to make us enough money for it to be worth it. Then they basically all said, all right, well, we don't want to do it. And then what did they do? They went and they worked on something else
together
that they created together for free. So, you know,
my question to you is, did you call them out on that one?
Yes, I called them out by never, ever answering the phone. Because, like, the thing is, people do what they want to do. That's it. If you, and when people do, like when I had the theater, people came to me because they wanted something, not because they wanted the theater to be successful. Very few people that were in that small circle wanted that theater to be successful. And how do you know that I know that?
Because you watch their actions.
That's right. Because when certain things were going down, everybody left. So I knew they weren't there for me, which I knew in the beginning anyway. I'm quite aware of people's behavior, but to have it actually happen in real time is just insane. So, you know, people's actions dictate truth. And you're asking, well, how did they do it? They have to want to do it. That's it. But you can't kind of want to do something. That's why I always tell people, you can't have a hobby and try to have a career. If you work at Walmart and you want to be a successful actor, musician, writer, you have to quit Walmart. But then they go, I can't quit Walmart. I need to pay my bills. Then I tell them, well, build an 18-month financial foundation, which is your capital startup, so you can quit the job and live off a year and a half of money to afford your overhead. And they go, but I won't make money. I go, if you are focusing a normal work day towards your field of interest, even volunteering your time in the beginning for the first 6 months, and you already have a year and a half covered, you will start getting opportunity for money, probably before 6 months. But
well, you've had people that you've mentored who were able to do it within like
months.
Yeah, literally
a month. But the reason is because they set everything up before they quit their job. They already had things lined up, knowing they were leaving their job on a specific day. They were going, my money was going to be full here, and I was going to leave my job here. I need to have work after the weekend because I was going to stop on a Friday, take Saturday, Sunday off, start my new life on Monday at an opportunity that paid. And
which is crazy.
It's very. When I decided to be an actor, my first gig was a year of paid theater work.
Which that is also crazy.
It's not crazy.
It's
you just have to.
The crazy aspect is the fact that there are so many people who are afraid to take that leap, whereas
they're not afraid because they will take the leap for something they don't like because they want it. See, that's the thing. If you really wanted to be successful in a career in entertainment, you would take the risk. But if you don't really want it, and you'd be really great if it happens, you don't take the risk. And that's part of changing the mind. I'll put, not me, but the royal me.
The royal. Is there royal me?
Is there royal me?
I think it's just royal we.
The royal we
not amused.
would ultimately say, you know what? I'm going to... I need to make X amount of dollars. So I'm going to work Walmart, the job I hate. I'm going to work at Walmart or King Cullen or wherever, supermarket. I'm just going to work a job that I absolutely, without a doubt, hate. And are you in the you're not actually in the studio, right?
No.
Okay. What's this? Money management is a skill. That is correct, Nate. Money management is a master skill.
It definitely is.
Yeah, it's one of the needs of longevity. But anyway, people make that leap, that sacrifice to work at a Walmart, which would be the same exact energy they need to work at a job at their career, but they want the money instantly, which brings us back to
instant gratification.
And that's why people in general, but more so people like us with mental health issues, we find ourselves without the right tools falling back on just needing that instant gratification just so we can feel normal. And normal, by the way, is in quotes, like just feel good. Like I'm sick of being sad or depressed or angry or confused or anxious or whatever the emotion. I'm sick of being stuck in my house. I'm sick of not being able to leave because of fear. I'm sick of whatever. And you just want to feel good at something. So you need that instant gratification. So imagine somebody tells you got to do something you hate for like 6 months and you'll start getting paid. But before you do that, you got to save up money. How much money?
A lot
of money. Oh, yeah. But if I just keep working and then I kind of do what I love, eventually somebody's going to notice me because I'm awesome, amazing, unique. And then I'll be able to get, I like my favorite is one time I was working background. And this guy, he goes, yeah, I was on set, and they hired me to basically be a hippie, and they gave me a guitar, and then they're like, while we were on set, they're just like, do you sing and play? And I was like, yeah, I sing and play. And then they kind of gave me a waiver, so I got day pay, which was great. I made $1,500 in my first day ever acting. I went from being background. Non-union, might I add, and I got.
Can we make that a character or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. The guy with the big mouth. That's the character. I go that guy with the big that I used to do on TikTok all the time.
Oh yeah,
that's that guy. Anyway, so then he goes. So basically, my plan is now I got to get an agent, and that'll blow up my career. And I go, when did this happen? Last week. You got that big break last week, and now you're ready for an agent? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
What?
All right, what do we got here, Nate? You guys deserve more subs and views. Oh my God. I appreciate that kindness. That was probably No, it was you know that stupid show, The Path.
What's the path?
It's like the deuce. The Path is like it's about Scientology without being about Scientology.
Oh my god, that's funny.
And they like kind of have like they film upstate a lot, and they usually have like
Upstate New York, I'm assuming.
yeah, upstate New York. What's this? Mr. Wildermouth. Ooh, what happened here?
What happened?
Your thing shut off.
Ugh.
Look at that.
Hold on.
You might have to plug it back in, buddy.
I think my computer froze.
Did it?
I think so.
Yeah, look at that. You know why? Because you have a Mac. Look at that craziness. I'm gonna take you out until you get back. All right. Anyway, what were we talking about?
My computer is being wacky. I'll monitor it while we continue the conversation.
Yeah. What was I talking about though?
You were talking about the guy who was trying
No, about that though. Like, people that just focus on their like
the creative aspect.
on the creative aspect. But like when clients come to me and they're like, I just need an agent or a manager and it'll be successful, because they're working a crappy job at like Walmart and they're just hoping something happens if they casually do the thing because they're so good they're gonna get noticed. And then they make their plans based on that, which is ultimately how you fail, because you're never going to get that reward you're looking for. And maybe you will. There's a 1 in a million chance. But then what do you do with that? If you don't know how to run your business, now you're in that world where you just get swept away and you become a one-hit wonder, which will be a one-hit film, a one-hit book, a one-hit comedy, one-hit movie, one-hit album, one-hit song maybe. And it's all like JD and I were just watching his Mac blow. Now JD and I were watching the guy who does his name's Anthony something or other, but he does the 10-second songs.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I can't remember his last name, and I apologize for that. But
he has an amazing mustache.
Amazing mustache. I'd like to get a mustache ride from him, and I'm
who
straight.
Wants a mustache ride?
Hey, that's from that
Super
show.
Troopers.
Yeah. Who's next? Anyway.
Oh, I do.
I do. I know.
Is it Germans?
So anyway, this guy, Anthony so-and-so, his channel was the 10-second songs. And he became really, really famous over the 10-second songs gig. That niche, that shtick. And what happened was a record label came to him. He didn't go to them. They came to him. And they said, we want to make an album of 10-second songs like this. We want to just...
I think it's a Christmas album specifically.
Christmas album of basically like doing songs like this. And he said he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to be known for the 10-second songs. But then he goes, but how about you sign my band? And he said that the record label didn't even want to hear the band.
Yeah, they were literally just, nope, not interested.
Not interested. Because the band was focused on what? Their music. They were like, look, I do this thing, but I would rather you sign my band. Why am I going to sign your band? No one cares about your band. But I care about my band.
They care about the thing that you have basically branded yourself to be.
I would have absolutely, without a doubt, done that. But I would have leapfrogged that into opportunity and got myself away from 10-second songs.
And by that, you mean you would have taken the record deal for the
I would have taken the record deal for the 10-second songs. I wouldn't even care if they owned it.
You're like, this is terrible.
It's not that it's terrible. I would have put all my all into it, so it was at least my pro level, because it is a part of my quality, right? It's part of my brand, is a part of my quality, right? So, not that I am the greatest, but that I want to do my best.
You want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward, as they say, and that you're actually whatever someone asks of you, you do as best you can.
Yeah, even if I'm not getting paid. One of somebody I love very much, Gabby. She's an amazing producer. Yeah. She always tells me, she's like, even when I ask you to do like simple things and you're not getting paid for, you go way above and beyond. And I go, because why would I do any less? If I get hired for something where I get paid, I'm gonna do the same work I do if I don't get paid, because it's my work. And it's not the final product quality that I'm interested in. It's my ability to show my truth in action. Giving that all is my brand. Part of my brand is, if you work with me or you hire me, you're going to get my top level quality.
No matter what.
Even if you end up not liking it, I'm going to give you my all. So if I was in that situation, I would have signed that record deal for the 10-second songs. While I was there, I would have built and cultivated relationships as best I can, which would eventually allow me to maybe go on tour with another band, even if I was just roadieing for them. Or working in a studio.
There's actually a story, the band, the Human Abstract, the original bass player ended up like leaving. They ended up getting a second bass player, but the replacement bass player started off as their roadie.
See, there you go. I never heard of Human Abstract, but anyway,
Really?
I'm not hip with any music past 1980.
Back in my day,
Back in my day,
Sabotage was the hottest thing ever. We don't even know what a TSO is.
TSO. Sabotage even made a Trans-Siberian Orchestra album, but they didn't necessarily make. It wasn't called Trans-Siberia. It was.
Oh yeah, didn't the Carol the Bells thing start off as?
Yeah, it was
as a
on the
Sabotage?
Beethoven album. Yeah,
That's funny.
they did an album. It was a Beethoven album.
Like it was themed.
Yeah, it was
after
as if Beethoven was writing music and that. But anyway, where was I?
Best of the best. You always do your
so
best.
I would have gotten the 10-second song sign, and I would allow that to leapfrog opportunities, building relationships, cultivating my opportunities, utilizing any money I earn from that to reorganize it, and ultimately create a foundation that I cannot have to work a job that is not. So I am available in that industry.
You would have treated that record deal as your quote unquote survival job to build your career as you wished.
I wouldn't have treated it like a survival job, no. Because when I tell people to work in your field, you should have a financial foundation so you can quit that job at any time, because you want to be able to say yes and no. That's what having a financial foundation is for, is so you can say yes or no. Because in that situation, I was saying yes because it brought me into opportunity. I was allowed to be in a place where I can make opportunity out of it. That's why I would say yes to that. However, if I already had opportunity and I was growing in an area that I was already happy growing in, I can now say no to that opportunity because I didn't need the money. Right? But if I'm choosing to say yes to things for money to be my quote unquote survival job, I am doing it wrong. I have done something wrong. So that's why we create a financial foundation, so you can even volunteer your time to work in your field doing it for nothing.
But what point I'm trying to say is, maybe I'm using the wrong terminology, is that you would have used that. Let's say you didn't have the foundation. You would have used that opportunity to, like you said, build and cultivate relationships, but you would also use that to put away and save for your foundation. Am I correct?
Yeah. But again, that wouldn't have been it would have been like a one-off thing where they were like, all right, your album's done. Here's a flat rate, and then I can't expect to have another album out of it. Like I could, if I took that opportunity and was like, oh, I'm going to be making albums now, like I'd be an idiot. It's like if somebody signed your band to a 5-album deal after the first album, if you think you're getting a second album, you're an idiot. Even if you do get that second album, because you're not supposed to supply action to things that are not relevant. And a second album would not be relevant in that situation. If I'm working on my first album and I have a 5-album deal, it doesn't guarantee that second album. You know what I'm saying? Even if it did, they'll be like, we'll get to it, because it doesn't have a time frame in, because people don't look at that. And if it did, we know that most people can't write great songs and great albums in a short period of time, unless it's because you're JD McGibney, who definitely lost that bet. Now, JD, why did you lose that bet? What happened? What did you realize? Well, first tell what the bet is.
The original bet was to write, was it 1 album?
It was actually 5 albums.
Really?
5 full albums, all great songs, all good songs. And
how did it turn into 5?
It was 5, and then I shrunk it down to 2. And because you were like, I could probably do 2.
2 in 2 months. So basically, an album a month.
Yeah.
But it has to be majority.
You added that rule, but I was saying all of them. But I was like, all right, fine, majority. So if an album has 8 songs on average, you had to write at least 5 good songs per album. So that means 10 good songs.
We've also established that there is we would define the good songs by.
But you wouldn't know what it was.
Yes.
Because if I told you, anyone could write, like if I was like, this is the map, you can get to where you're going. So, but I also think if I told you exactly how to write a good song, I don't think you can consistently write a good song, just because, again, it's not easy to write a good song. But go ahead. So you were like, I can do that.
Yeah. And then it changed into write 1 song in a month.
You changed it to write 1 song.
No, because I started working on one thing and then you changed it because I was working on the 1 song. You're like, You said, I'll change it to just the 1 song in 2 months.
And you were like, I could do this. How's it going?
I haven't touched it in like a week.
How was it going when you were writing it?
Ah,
What do you mean you don't know? I
mean-
remember.
I worked on it for a while.
Did you take any chunks of music out of it?
I did take a chunk of music. out of
Why? It was a good song.
it. You're like, JD, you should get rid of that.
You can't listen to me. Maybe I was trying to sabotage you.
Sabotage me, you mean?
Jesus
Yes,
it does.
Oh God, I listened to that song for the first time yesterday. I have no idea what I experienced.
And your life is good for it. But anyway, so maybe I told you to take that out to sabotage your efforts.
It's not. It's very not you though.
Well, that's true. I was also trying to help my ears.
Like my ears are going to bleed.
Dude, the first time you jammed out on just that part, I was just like, this is not going to be a good song. It's not even close to a good song. I think what would help you write good songs is if you got rid of your repeater. If you got rid of that thing that makes the riffs repeat.
I haven't been using that to write lately. I've been using basically ever since you got me into the habit of writing things out in MIDI. That's what I've been doing. That's basically it. So I'll just write out something. I'll have like 1 to 4 repetitions of something. No more, and I'll be like, okay, that's it.
You can have 8 or 6.
But
you
what
know,
I'm
you just
saying
have to
though
be
is
able
like
to be
that'll
right.
be like the basis, and then like I'll go from there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you write 4 and then you just keep repeating that, and then you're like, oh, I could add another 2 times. That would be the equivalent of having a repeater.
Yeah, but I haven't been doing that though. Like the desire to do so in the composition is.
So if you choose 4
'cause,
repetitions,
like,
that's all it stays at.
When I was using the loop pedal,
Yeah.
The reason why it stayed that way is because I could only have like X amount of time on the loop pedal, so I would just be like, all right, I'm gonna just keep that going and wing it on top of it. So I'm like, all right, well, this is what I wrote over, so there we go.
But what I'm saying is if you write 4 progressions out on the computer, that's all it's ever going to be. You're not going to add or subtract to that.
No, not that. I said that use it as a starting base.
Yeah, but the moment you start having that on a loop, that is equivalent to the repeat.
But I'm not looping it though.
What do? You just play it through once and then you figure it out?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay. So you write a riff and then you play it once only. And then you're like, "Oh, I got the perfect melody for it."
No, but I could just sit there and like not have to loop it. I could just plug in the stuff.
What do you mean?
Like,
so you don't
so
even
like,
write anything. You just plug in notes until it sounds good.
Not necessarily, no. What I'm saying though is like when I'm using the loop pedal,
yeah,
I just get stuck in. I don't look at it objectively because I'm playing and listening. Whereas if I have it in front of me, I can be like, oh, this is what it sounds like. I'm getting bored now, or I need more. I need a resolution. So like I don't have to focus on playing it and listening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think you're answering a different question.
I think you're maybe confusing me then.
Yeah, definitely confusing. What I'm saying is, when you write the riff, that's 4 times, and you go 4 progressions. Okay. Then you go back and you listen to it, and then you start playing the guitar to figure out a melody or a counter rhythm. You're essentially using the repeater, is what I'm saying. Even if you listen to it twice, you're still essentially going, well, I got to keep listening to this to write something with it. And it's, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not.
But I'm only stuck to load that amount of repetitions.
Yeah, but you're saying if you have to add a resolution, you'll add more to it if you have to.
Yeah, but at the same time, like that very rarely will be. I'll be able to see that I need to. I'll be able to see when everything is ending, so I'll know when I need to end, basically. So I won't accidentally go too.
Oh, I see
long,
what you're saying.
You're saying. Whereas, like, I cannot count how many repetitions the thing is.
What?
While playing it.
Wait. Back up for a second.
And jamming.
The first thing you learn is repetition count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah,
3.
but when I'm.
Don't you do that?
Yeah, but not when I'm like winging something and composing. I'm not counting and composing.
Wait, you can't count and wing? Are you kidding me? Are you messing with me?
No.
Dude, that was one of the first things I had to learn in jazz class.
Yeah, well, it's jazz. They teach you.
You had to learn the chaos. You know, and just and you're counting 1 to 2, right?
Can we just record you doing
Oh,
that?
God.
An entire
Oh,
album?
just me mouthing it though.
Boom, 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 boom.
I actually used to be really good at soloing over jazz lyrics.
Wait,
But-
with your mouth?
No, like, well, actually, you make a joke, but that is also a tool that you learn in jazz. So, like when I was showing somebody how to sing, I picked up a guitar and I went da 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 da, right, and they're like, "How are you hitting the exact notes where it's going?" Because
You know where it is.
but you learn to mouth. If you watch jazz musicians or even just talented musicians, they're mouthing the notes. You can see their mouth moving. They're going. And it's a technique to move yourself because in your head you're writing. That's why, like, when I say you play until you like something, whereas I write what I like, which is a completely different because of those tools, because I can hear in my head exactly what it is I need to write down. Not, all right, here's a go. Sometimes I'll play what's in my head over something, and then once I have it, then I go, let me play around with it. Right? Let me.
So basically, you get it out, and then after you get it out, then you like polish it and refine it.
Yeah, but even in that polishing and refining, I'm playing within the confounds of my tools and the rules. So I don't just go, does this note work? Does this note work? Does this note work? Does this note, you know? Or I go, let me just do like, I'm not doing that. I'm going, this is where I can play. I know that the chord's going to hear, so I need to move to this. Like, I know how to move it before I play with it. So I'm not trying to find a note that works. I already know what's going to work, but what note within that area do I want to use in conjunction? And if I know that I'm playing a fifth, you know, do I want it to resolve? Do I go down or up? You know, like, you learn those things. Wait, I think we have another Nate. That would probably go by.
Oh yeah, the Thomas mouth scat.
Nate, would you do a review? Would you do a reaction video? Nate in bed reaction video to to me scatting on it.
Can we do that just so we can have him do the reaction video? That would literally make my entire day.
I used to do that with Black Sabbath albums. Actually, I would sit there and I would.
Do you review in your bed?
No, I would mouth all the notes,
Yeah.
but I would write solos. What's happening? Guy in Bed Reacts. That's it. Guy in Bed Reacts. Great series, by the way. We have watched it several times. Anyway, so back to your show. Go ahead. Mental health and SMART goals make you successful. Go ahead.
Well, it's not that they make you successful. They're a tool to help you work through the whatever it is that you're struggling with.
It's a tool to help you focus.
Yes.
Yeah,
because there's it is a tool that people use for, like, say if you're feeling unmotivated, so like you have like depression or if you have anxiety. A lot of therapists and was it cognitive behavioral therapy? I think it's CBT. Like teaching people to set smaller, like, SMART goals. Is, you know, something that they try to get you to start doing because it helps you to start doing little things. You're like, oh, I can focus on. Let me do this. Let me get out of bed today. Let me go brush my teeth.
Do you know what the other reason they do that?
Why?
To change your brain.
Oh.
It's the small changes that create big habits. You know, and if you do something for about 66 days, it becomes a true habit. So if you're making your bed every day, it's one little thing, but you're training your brain to change. You know, you're training it to think differently. And eventually you'll just wake up and make your bed and you're not thinking about it because it's a habit. It's like people that have to brush their teeth before, you know, when they wake up, or people when they have to brush their teeth before they go to bed, right? Or
it's a habit.
It's a habit. They're not brushing their teeth because they have to brush their teeth. At a certain point, you're just brushing your teeth.
It's just the body goes, I have to do this.
Yeah. You know, like in movies, sometimes you'll see somebody just go in the bathroom and they do like a sequence of things. Like that's written for a purpose because that character has been doing that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's their day, you know.
Like when we first see somebody like the establishing shot, like I think that happens in The Machinist. Like when you first come in, like you're just seeing him like go through and do like his like bathroom routine.
Yeah, something like that. But also, you know, like somebody that's going to work, what do? They stop and they get Starbucks, and then they go to work. Like, that's a habit.
And then they have the person that they normally speak to or talk to, and they have their order ready, have the same order.
Yeah, because it's just part of the routine, which, by the way, if you want to be successful, you break up your routine. But you should have the ability to create the routine.
I actually have a question to follow up for that one.
Oh, my God.
Because I believe when I first started taking like lessons from you, you were talking about building habits or like finding building new habits. So what is the value of what's the weight between building new habits and then breaking up your routine?
And it comes down to if
because
the same thing. If you're not seeing any results, change it up.
Gotcha. So
which is another rule I taught you in the beginning.
It is. So are you saying that basically break up the routine until you find one that's working, or should you always be looking to break up and not
everything you do
stagnant?
Needs to affect everything you do. So, if brushing your teeth, let's say my habit is to brush my teeth, but then directly after I brush my teeth,
you drink orange juice.
I eat a full meal, and like the next time I brush my teeth is the following morning.
It negates the purpose.
I don't need to be brushing my teeth because there's no point to it. So how do I make that better? How do I make that more important? How do I make that a part of my body's health regimen? So then you have to figure out like how to make that useful, right? Instead of just making it a wasted habit. So you have to think of habits like that for your business too. If I get up every day and I go to Starbucks, get my coffee and go to work, am I spending money that I don't need to spend just because I need to be doing that? Maybe I should change it up. Maybe I should just make coffee at home and take it with me. Now I'm doing money management, time management. I'm not stopping in another location. I'm just going from here to there. And now I have more time on my hands to do something.
And you still have your coffee.
Which affects my entire day, which therefore everything you do affects everything you do. So if I decide to go to Starbucks every morning, not that Starbucks is bad, but now I'm spending extra $7 for a drink, and I got to go in, or I got to go to the thing and wait on the car line. So that's time. And that affects literally everything else I do. So that's when you start thinking about changing up habits. Like, how is it affecting my activity, my purpose negatively? Or is it doing nothing for me? Which is even worse than negative, because at least negative is something. But if it's just something you do,
then it's literally having no effect on anything except for you.
Yeah. And by the way, if somebody writes like a book or music or, practice
music,
like a song or something, or they practice monologues like every day. They're like, every day I gotta work 4 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour.
Practice.
That thing is a nothing. It does nothing. Like, it's not necessarily influencing anything in your life. But if you're doing that habit during your work schedule, like let's say you have a career and you have your free time because you have that financial foundation, that startup capital, and you're just choosing to use your 8 hours to work on your own thing, you're now wasting time. You're literally doing nothing. It's not a negative though. It's just you're literally doing nothing. You're just doing something for you. You're trying to get that instant gratification. So it's a nothing task. However, if you finish your workday, then you could work on it because now it's your time. But you have to say to yourself, how badly do I want to succeed? And that dictates how much time you put into your work. And, like you say, I work all the time. But even if I'm writing, like the self-help book, that again is not for me. You think I want to be writing a self-help book? No. But it is solving a problem. What's it solving?
It's educating people.
Well, besides that, it's refining. What the hell? I thought there was like a hair. It's refining my seminar, which some people want to come to my seminar and some people want my information, but they don't have the resources to get to where I am. Maybe they're from a different state or whatever the case may be.
Different country.
It's a different country. So now they have the ability to just buy the book, and it basically goes over what I talk about in greater detail, right?
Well, it's also the book goes over a couple of different seminars because it goes into the overall triangle of life, but there's also, I thought it goes into more detail as well.
No, it's the triangle of life seminar in its full. Like if somebody gave me 2.5 hours, I could do a triangle of life seminar. But
Is that the
also
longest seminar you've done?
no 3 hours. I think.
Holy crap!
But it flies by.
How do you not pee? I strap a catheter to myself.
I have a colostomy bag.
Ugh.
Either that or I carry around a bag of pickles, but that would be weird.
What?
but anyway, like it looks like I work all the time because everything I do, even though I don't want to do it, I enjoy doing it, or I wouldn't be doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really want to be doing what I do, to get where I want to be, but I enjoy doing what I do, so it's okay. Because if I wasn't doing this job in my free time, I would be writing. In my free time, I'd be doing this. I'd be doing like everything I do, I'd be doing in my free time, except I'm doing it with purpose now. It's not creative. I'm not writing to be creative. I'm writing to function a business. I'm writing to create solutions. Even the scripts that I'm writing, if I'm writing for someone, that's just work. But if I'm writing a script for us to produce, it has so much functionality to it that it's not,
it's not just creative.
Yeah, I'm not gonna write the script and then read the script by myself and then film it myself and play all the.
Oh my
maybe
God.
I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing about a show will be about me.
I'm just gonna imagine you as everybody in the circle.
I mean, at one time or another, I was going to be the Moses character.
Carmina.
I couldn't be Carmina. She's exhausting to write. She's a very exhausting character to write because she's a sociopath for one, and then I don't want to give away anything, but she's a very difficult character because she's also suffers from mental health. Well, actually, I would say everyone in the circle suffer from some form of mental health, from body dysmorphia to chronic depression to
There's like a substance addiction in there.
Well, the sex addict.
Oh yeah, sex addict. Right, that one.
Right. But it's sexual fantasy, not physical addiction. So that the person's just addicted to the concept of sexuality, but not necessarily having sex with a whole bunch of people.
Interesting.
To the point where he thinks he's so broken and so disgusting that he won't even be intimate with his wife. Because he feels like he's trying to,
he feels broken, so he feels that he is unworthy for his.
Yeah, he's trying to restrain those thoughts because he thinks it makes him because his wife is like a Catholic and he's not a religious character, which is interesting because all the people in the circle aren't necessarily religious, but they come from different religions, and there's a reason for that.
Ooh, the ominous music here. Wait, what?
You never heard of tuk-tuk? All right.
What the hell's a tuk-tuk?
You don't know what a tuk-tuk is, you racist bastard? A tuk-tuk is when you take. It's the past tense. It's the past tense of take. Oh, I see you tuk-tuk. I'm going to take that. Really? Yeah. Oh, my God. You just took that.
It's tuk-tuk out.
It's tuk-tuk out. But that's why I work all day because I'm not doing anything that I'm not doing.
You're doing things that you would normally be doing if you weren't working.
Yeah, but I'm also not satisfying my creative juices per se. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I write a script for somebody, there's creative aspect to
but
it.
It's not like coming from like a personal space. It's not like, oh, this is my.
No, I wouldn't agree because everything you write like for me to make characters real.
You have to find.
I have to. There's something has to be in from me, but which is interesting because I don't write me characters when I'm hired.
What do you mean? Like you don't write like characters that you would create on your own?
Like right now, I'm writing like several lead women character that need depth, and all I'm doing is just choosing to write them as people, and they just so happen to be women.
Well, that's how you create depth in a character. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter. What you look like. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It's just who are you as a person? How is it that people can relate to you as a person?
Well, it's like when someone says, I want to write a strong woman, they just make her an actual physically strong person that can like handle anything. And sometimes she becomes a Mary Sue where she can't lose at anything. And you're like, that's not a strong character.
And then I'm Just a Girl starts playing out of nowhere.
I'm just a girl in a strong female character is the same as a strong male character. Can they bounce back from trials and tribulations?
In the words of Rocky Balboa, it's not how many times you get hit down, it's how many times you get back up.
How many times to get up? You're better than that.
I love that scene.
You think it's my fault? I love you, but you gotta get out your own way. All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering, maybe like we could go like boxing. I feel a little in the basement. That's what that movie is. I feel a little in the basement. I want to fight the champion. And fights the champion. Get that out of here. He's like 80 years old.
Oh,
I
God.
could do it. I could do it.
Yeah.
What was I saying? I don't know.
When you're writing strong female characters.
Oh, well, you're writing strong female or male characters. All you have to do is make sure, can they bounce back from the hardship, and not necessarily can they overcoming the hardship. To me, I don't believe is strong. Like overcoming is like two people coming at me with guns. I disarm them, beat them up, and I take their gun and I leave the scene. That doesn't make me a strong character. That makes me a skilled character, but I'm not strong. Like inside, I'm not a strong character.
You're saying the what makes someone strong is their ability to handle an emotional turmoil and bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back. For example, let's say in that same exact scene, two people coming at me with guns. I get shot. They beat the hell out of me. Maybe I persevere and take care of one of them, but the other person ends up getting me. And I choose to escape. Not, because I have to regroup and replan to get them. Mm-hmm. To me, that's a strong character moment, because it's not saying that like I'm gonna win this, so I'm gonna just keep going. No, it's like I know my limitations. I have to leave and come back. I have to, So that's why it's like it's good to see characters fail, because that failure is their chance to work through and overcome that
emotion that is tied with the actual failure.
Yeah, with the failure.
Because the failure is a thing. It's how someone deals with it.
Yeah, but it's not always failure. Like if I get beat up in a fight, I didn't necessarily fail.
You successfully got beaten up.
No, I successfully aware of my boundaries, and I know that I have to regroup so I can win the war. See, a lost battle is not a lost war. And, that's what makes a good general, is when they go, you know what, we can retreat this because this isn't where we're going to win the war. So let's not lose any more people. Let's get them out of there. And some people are like, George Washington, he actually lost more battles than he won. But the thing is, he didn't lose those battles. They were strategic, and he retreated, and he regrouped, and then they took out, so it's the battles he won that were victorious, like that helped the war.
He won the most important part.
Yeah, it's like in Risk when I destroy you in 20 minutes. Like the reason is because I
try to take over all of Asia.
Did he go for Asia? That isn't what happened.
It's definitely what happens a lot of the time when anyone tries to take Asia at the beginning.
Yeah, but that isn't what happened in that 20-minute victory.
Oh, look, six.
You're not even. The die isn't even on the table yet.
You're not even looking at it. Six. Oh,
1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 2, 1-1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1-1. Oh God! You don't know anyone who can call the dice before they roll?
Yeah, not anyone that is not cheating.
I'm not cheating. How am I cheating? Just because I know?
Just because I don't know the science behind it.
Maybe I'm manifesting through hope and faith.
Which is cheating, because you're like, oh, look, I'm making it happen.
I'm not making it happen.
Cheater.
Manifestation is fake.
I said good day.
Do you believe in manifestation? Yeah, do you believe in
it? Yes, I do.
So then how come you don't do it with the dice?
Well, because apparently I'm not as in tune with the manifestations.
You manifest loss.
Oh,
I'm gonna win. How'd I lose?
Oh, woohoo! I'm gonna. Oh,
that's my favorite part actually about playing games is when somebody says something arrogantly like, "Oh, you're I'm beating you pretty bad." Oh, you are. Win. How'd you come back? You had one army. Wow, just made it happen. It's just pure luck, pure skill. Anyway,
have you practiced like tossing dice?
No, I don't practice. Oh,
you broke some.
I rarely practice anything in my life.
You practice being a good person.
No, I don't. I just am a good person. There's a difference.
Yeah, but you actively do it all the time.
Well, then everything we do is practice.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a good person, so that therefore I don't practice. Like I'm not like, what do I do to be good? Let me read a book. Oh, it says I should do these things, or hey, I'm gonna walk up to these people and I'm gonna purposefully do good people things. Let's see, what would that be? Oh, I
Don't
know.
rob them.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
My name's Ted.
Oh God, I'm
And
a
then you
bad
get-
person.
And then you get punched and robbed
Yeah,
and
no.
beaten up. You
I
gotta
just
run
I
or
just
agree.
treat people how I want to be treated, and to me, that's a good person. I don't need to practice that. I know exactly what I want people to do for me, which
Yeah.
I don't get, by the way. Nobody treats me how I treat them. Like in my mind, I've never been around another human being that is like me.
I mean, I keep telling you, it's really weird waking up and you're massaging my feet.
Well, it's really weird that your feet smell because like
They
the
don't have-
noses that are attached to them
Just
must
aren't
be
even plugged in.
uncomfortable when you walk. No, seriously, like I've never met anyone that I every time someone gets upset or aggravated at something I do, I go, all right, they are not really like I have to shrink my brain to be around this person, which by the way is it's uncomfortable, but I don't tell that person to not be themselves, but I'm the one always adjusting, or I'm the one who's always being asked to adjust, which by the way is terrible because I'm so sane that I am insane.
So you're the Joker.
No, I just don't think people should be offended by anything. I don't understand. The only thing you should be offended by is, are you physically hurting me? And the touching is not touching, by the way, is funny. It can be funny. But if you are hurting somebody, that's the line. That's the
Don't hurt
only line
people.
I have. Yeah, don't hurt somebody. Also, if you're going out of your way to hurt someone emotionally, that's also
That is inappropriate.
that's the line I won't cross. But
So you will not emotionally or physically hurt anybody
on purpose.
on purpose.
That's right. I might trip and fall and kill 7 people, and I'd
Like
be
that one time in Barcelona.
yeah, and I would be okay with it. Like I wouldn't feel guilt for those deaths.
You'd be like,
It was an accident. Like I would be able to understand that. If somebody
Cobblestones.
fell and hurt me, I would not be mad at them. It would be an accident. Like I'm able to instantly understand that, whereas other people would get angry at that. But yeah. But also, no.
So basically, if someone you got into a car accident because someone went to go stop, but there just happened to be ice on the road and there was an accident, you'd be like, okay, whatever, it's an accident. But like that guy who tried to run you over that one time, you'd be like, not cool.
Well, I get, yeah, that was not cool. I made a left into a turning, like when you're at a light, you can turn left.
Yeah.
I turned at the beginning of the change in lanes, like how it has the white lines.
Yeah.
But somebody in a motorhome decided to cut way before that, and they smashed my car and dragged me past the light. And that guy got mad at me for turning into the turning lane
properly,
but I didn't get mad at him for hitting my car,
even though he very much did it wrong
because it was an accident. He just made a mistake that day. He did not choose to crash into my car. And he was screaming, and everyone around us was just like, why aren't you mad? You're not even yelling at him. I'm like, oh, well, I got to call him to tow the car. Yeah, but he's yelling at you. Yeah, well,
So
that's what he has to do all day. I just got to get this car towed and get a new one. Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm alive. He's alive. No one's dead. We're good. No one got hurt.
Done. I just don't want to drive anymore. That's all.
Is Uber around yet?
Yeah, no. I rarely get angry at people. I get mad at stupidity, and I get mad at lying. That's and obviously if somebody hurt somebody intentionally hurt me. That's
stupidity, lying, and hurting.
Yeah, but that's why sometimes I feel like you are fucking with me. Like when I did that because I feel like it's intentional. Like if I say that to you or anybody else, I feel you're intentionally doing it, and that's when I don't like it. But if you woke up and you were like let's say hey man, why'd you leave your socks on my floor? And I'd be like, I didn't leave the socks on you. Yeah, you did, and I slipped on them and I fell and I hit my head. I'd be laughing, But if you intentionally made that story up, and your purpose was to get me to believe that I actually did do that, I would be so angry because
because in that instance I would be trying to get you angry, and you're like, that's your
plus
emotion.
you would be lying and not playing a joke or being silly. Being silly is not lying, because you obviously you fess up to it instantly.
Like when you ask me something, I'm just like something ridiculous, and you're like, really? I'm like, no.
Well, you've been doing a thing lately where you just, yep, that's right. which means like you're not interested, like you're not really playing, but you're not like being JD around me anymore. You're just like you just shut off with that, which means I've hit your threshold, which is like whatever. like, I already know the month when you're gonna leave, but like that behavioral change is it's called a turn in like emotional like building blocks. Like when you create walls in your head, it's called a turn. You know that?
I did not.
Yeah, that's right. It's called a turn. In TAC, we call it a turn because you refuse to play. So when you refuse to play, you shut off the respect. So like if I make a joke and you go, "Yep," you're choosing not to engage, and you're choosing to, which loses points, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Well, I do now.
It loses points. That's why you have to yes and. Remember I talked always yes and.
Always yes and.
Always yes and, no matter what situation. If I make a joke or a ridiculous comment that would make you uncomfortable, you still should yes and, because my comment is not making you uncomfortable. You are uncomfortable at my comment. So I don't technically lose a point in that situation because I'm not purposefully trying to make you uncomfortable. Even if I knew that comment would make you uncomfortable, I should still have the freedom to talk as well as I want, as long as I am physically not hurting you and physically choosing to hurt you emotionally.
But let's say there is a comment, let's say you make a comment that would purposely, that you know for a fact would make someone feel uncomfortable, yet you do it anyway. Would that not count as, why?
Because it's a word.
But if the intention was to elicit that response and you know that the response would be a negative response, then why does that not count as a negative?
If I'm choosing to incite you, that would be bad. But if I'm choosing to just use that word, because there is nothing wrong with words, intent and context is important. But and you get offended at that, and you go, you know that word bothers me, and I go, so I can't use the word at all. So now I have to turn. Look around. Is JD around now? Like how can you be around? How can you even be friends with me if I have to figure out what to say or what not to say around you? You're going to lose points with me. If you feel you can't be around me because I say the wrong things all the time, you're going to take points away from me, but I didn't lose them. And there's a big difference. The big difference is you're trying to be around you. I have to alter my behavior. For you to be around me, I have to alter my behavior. Like that's your mindset. If you are offended by me, or I feel I can't be around you, behavior has to change from me, not you. And if I have to change my behavior, I'm either you're losing the points or you're taking points away from us.
Interesting.
Because you're putting the responsibility on me, and you're not taking responsibility. Because me talking about anything is not my responsibility of your emotional state. That's your responsibility. Just like when I get angry, that's my responsible state. Like I'm responsible for that anger. No one else is responsible. Why do you think I apologize quite quickly after I have anger bursts?
Because you realize that it's your responsibility.
It's my my emotional content. My emotional state is always about me. No one else's fault, right? However, I do know what my triggers are, and I react to the triggers. It's something I have to work on, but
like lying,
stupidity, irrationality,
people trying to get in touch with you about your warranty on your car.
That doesn't anger me. Stupidity definitely angers me. But
yeah, the people who are trying to get in touch with you about the warranty on your car.
No, the people that tell me the wrong information. But even if I feel like somebody's purposefully, doing something, like, are you purposefully like doing that? Like that aggravates, because you're responsible for your behavior. So if you're purposefully doing something, that's not my problem. That's you're choosing to be, not you, but
the royal you.
The royal you. Like if someone's like, oh, I'm gonna say this, that's emotional abuse. It's when you're choosing to be emotionally abusive, that's a choice. You should.
But someone's choosing to be a dick.
Well, if you're emotionally abusive because you're doing things where someone says I can't be around you because of these things, you have to make a choice. Maybe I can't be with this person, or maybe I should adjust my behavior because I'm literally choosing to do these things to upset people. which is terrible.
I agree.
But you didn't know that? You didn't know that you didn't know about the term or anything?
No.
Jesus.
Listen, I'm learning things every day.
If your brain feels somebody should change their behavior, you're in the wrong. Unless that person is, again, physically hurting you or choosing to emotionally hurt you. Their behavior should not be changed. That's just who they are. You can choose to not be around them, but does that mean you should change your behavior? No, but
unless, of course, I am being physically or emotionally abusive to someone.
Yeah. So, I got a couple things I wrote down. You should know. Like when you yell at me for massaging your dick.
I also don't appreciate the morning shin kicks.
Yeah. Could you hold my cock and
honor it?
Honor it. Yes, of course.
Listen, we have our morning routines.
That's why I hate it when people are always like, you shouldn't say that, or like, I don't like when you do that, or could you stop doing this thing? And I'm just like, no. And like, but it bothers me. And I go, yes, but it bothers me that you're asking me to change who I am. Just stop hanging out with me. I don't need you around. Well, go away. Or my favorite is their defense is, well, why don't you stop coming around?
You're at my
because you're the one who doesn't like being around me. It's not like I'm coming to your house. If I hang out with somebody we know, I'm not going to not hang out with them because you're there, because I am an adult. I'm able to make adult decisions. Like, you do things I don't like, but
like
I keep
how
it
many
to
tacos I'm going to have for dinner.
Yeah. But it's like, I've never understood that behavior where it's like somebody doesn't like the behavior of someone else and they have to change. Like, who cares? There is so much that so many people do that I can't stand, but I keep it to myself because they're not breaking my rules, which is the hurting thing and stuff. So I'm just like,
or lying.
But lying is purposefully trying to hurt you emotionally. Why else do you lie? To manipulate, to confuse, to distort. It's a choice instead of just going, this is the truth. Because the truth, as bad as it could be, is still better than the lie.
Because the truth is out there.
Yeah, but I would also like to know the truth because then I can make a decision. And if the decision I make is negative to your behavior, maybe you shouldn't do that behavior. Why? Because you feel the person's perspective of you is so important. You don't want it to be tainted. So you chose to lie. So that's an on you thing. Right. For me though, like if you were like, I did this thing, I broke the plates, I'd be like, okay, but if you're like, I don't know how the plates broke, and then it comes out you broke the plates. Now you're a liar and you're never going to be anything but a liar. No matter if you told the truth every day from that point, I cannot believe that you are telling the truth.
Because you've been caught in that lie.
Because
you don't know at what point anything else would be a lie.
Because in my brain it'll be like, maybe he just doesn't want to deal with the stress or the frustration or the whatever the energy is if he tells the truth, and which is a mental health thing. It's the anxiety or depression or whatever it is that some people are just like, well, I don't want to deal with the repercussions. Deal with the repercussions. No one's gonna kill you.
Well, says you.
Yeah, but they're gonna kill you. You're in the wrong situation.
Yes.
If you in your brain think this person's going to hit me, kill me, or do something vicious if I tell them the truth, you leave that situation and then you can tell them the truth from like 6 miles away.
Or 6 states away.
6 states. Or you don't have to tell them the truth at anyone. You just get out of their life.
Like, I'll see you later.
Yeah,
have
because
a wonderful day.
You shouldn't be around people that are making you feel that fear. There is nothing truth will ever do. You tell the truth and they don't want to be your friend anymore.
Okay, bye.
You're the one who messed up. Just let it out. You ruined that friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Like just tell the truth, get the friendship over. Because if you do keep that friendship around because you lied, when that lie comes out,
it's going to be even worse.
It's going to be even worse. It's going to be even worse. And that lie might be the first of many.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I'm too deep already. Like, who cares? Just get them out of your life. I just cut people out.
Literally with scissors.
Yeah, I literally take them out of my phone. I don't care. I don't have time. There was somebody I was talking to the other day, and they had been talking to me for a while, and they air quoted me on something because I said I need to write.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you go, deadline work, work on your deadline, whatever. And I was like, yeah, well, can you you're annoying me now.
You're like, yes, no, like I literally get paid to write.
Yeah. And then they messaged me 2 more times, and I didn't respond. I just saw that they messaged me.
Mhm.
And I just said in my head, if they message me one more time, I'm just going to block them because they clearly don't care about anything.
And they're not paying attention to the boundaries that you said. You're like,
Yeah, they're not listening.
we can have a conversation, whatever, but I have to do this thing. I got to go now.
Yeah, well, they're being selfish. And like in my mind, again, I'm not going to ask them not to be like that, but I can block them because I don't want them in my life. I don't need that in my life. I would rather not have you in my life because I don't want you to change who you are. Keep being who you are. But I am the one walking away.
You're removing yourself.
I'm removing myself. Yeah. Now, if I saw that person in public, I would be cordial, but I would not go out of my way to talk to them.
That makes sense.
Because I have no interest in building a relationship with anyone who's crazy.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Or disrespectful, more importantly.
Yeah, very disrespectful. And it's not like I was like, I definitely didn't lie. I was like, I am writing. Whatever.
No,
Mental health. What else did you want to talk about in this episode?
I think we pretty much covered all the bases.
I don't know. It sounded like I took over and talked.
I mean, you definitely are a little bit more well-spoken than I.
You need practice.
I do need practice.
Go ahead. Say something.
Hi.
That was terrible.
Wait a second.
What is it you wanted to get out of this episode? That's pretty intense, man.
Well, good thing we have the tents like right over there, right off screen.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Hurry up.
I just wanted to kind of just bring up the idea of people in general struggle with mental health no matter where they are, but there is hope that even if you do have these these struggles that like you can, there are ways to work through them and get past it and actually fulfill these dreams that you have and find success, especially if you are within the field of entertainment, which without proper research can seem a little daunting for people who are not regularly struggling with some sort of mental health issue.
Yeah. If you met somebody that said they struggle with mental health, would you be hesitant to like put time into them?
No.
What if they're not doing anything with their life and they say they have mental health? Would you put time into them?
When you say not doing anything with their life, you mean just like literally just like not doing anything?
Yeah.
Like sitting at home?
No, they work. They come home. They diddle daddle on their guitar on the weekends. Maybe during the week they have a band that they play out shows, but they don't really do anything.
I have friends still that basically, they have a day job that has nothing to do with entertainment.
What do you think, they're losers?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, I would.
So
if they're a good person, I would put time into them.
How much time?
Yes, it would depend.
Well, on what?
It would depend on how well we get along. How much
you get along great.
All right,
but they add no value to your life other than you get along.
Well, then it sounds like that the relationship really isn't anything more than just like.
But they're a human being, for God's sakes.
Yeah, so they have value.
You just don't want to give them your time.
That's not the case at all. I give them watches every Christmas. I'll be here all week, folks.
Oh, I gotta hand it to you. All right.
Wait a second.
Each time. Because you're supposed to manage people in and out of your life. So if they're not adding influence to your life, do they really have the value? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
because that's really right. Your circle of influence should be filled with people of influence, not people that don't influence you.
If both parties are not influencing each other in a positive way to grow themselves as individuals, then then they get what time that they get.
So how much? Let's go through. Take out your phone.
On the spot.
Who's this Jacob Jingleheimer? How much time do they get? Why is everyone Jacob Jingleheimer? I knew you were going to do this. Oh. All right.
Sneaky.
631. You're always a step ahead of me, Thomas. So if they're not influential in your life, you don't give them like a lot of your time.
Well, it goes back and forth. If it's not a mutually beneficial relationship, then
All right, so you have to influence them as much as they influence you. But if like you're just influencing them, you'll slow down your time.
I don't feel that any relationship is healthy
Mhm.
if one person is just leeching off of the other one. Then if I feel that there is,
Mhm.
if I feel that the relationship between me and anybody else
Yeah.
is like one of us is just taking, then I don't feel like that's a healthy relationship.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
in the instance where, like, say someone takes on like a mentor role,
Yeah. Mhm.
you're getting, both parties are getting something out of
They're
it. So
supposed to.
yeah.
So before I make you hit the bell,
Wait.
wait, not yet.
Pull it closer,
Oh,
'cause I gave it to you.
okay. So before I make you hit the bell, so I'm clear on this. If it's not a mutual exchange of influence, you slow your time down with them. If it's just you giving influence, you slow your time around with them. If they have zero influence, you slow your time with them.
Well, influence, as we have defined, is being able to influence a person to be
Well,
better
influence
in
is
their life.
good habits and
Yeah.
and responsibility. So
like if someone's
is that
just hanging
statement
around,
good? Is that statement good?
so if someone's
Is that statement good?
yes,
Hit the bell. Hang on 1 second. I don't agree with his answer. However, if you haven't heard from JD in a long time, you uninfluenced him. Now you know why. You bastard. Get your crap together and start doing something with your life, Dad. All right. So anyway, speaking of mental health, how's your anxiety handling right now?
probably about a 40.
It's about a 40 out of 1. Oh crap! Can we black my face out on this? I don't do this show normally. You know what's funny? I don't talk to people because I have chronic depression, so it has nothing to do with if they have influential value or not. There are people I want to talk to like all the time, and I can't do it. Like it's just so difficult to care about like breathing that like to also talk to somebody that I like or care about. Like it's just difficult, But anyone who reaches out to me, just I talk to. Like I'll be like, oh hey, and it'll be like they never left. But like it's so hard for me. And people
Take the initiative.
Yeah, it's difficult. And some people I know call me out on it. They're always like, I put more time into this relationship than you do. And I go, well then just don't be friends with me. Like I'm not gonna change I'm not gonna go out of my comfort zone to make you happy. That's not what a friendship is about. My friendship is not about making you happy. That's not what friendship is about.
Agreed.
You should be happy with the people you're friends with, but that doesn't necessarily mean my responsibility is to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, and I have a friend of mine who hypothetically speaking, who is very similar to that, where it's like,
this is cold upping. Keep going.
You're welcome.
Just trying to teach the audience about mental health issues.
That's what I was going
it's
with.
It's a 50 now. You have a friend that does exactly what I was talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, he ups. No, I mean, he tells you that you need to talk to him more. Is he part of the space system?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
She hypothetically is out of this world.
It's a she.
Wah, wah.
It's a she.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that doesn't count then.
Oh, wow.
No, go ahead.
Are you saying women aren't people?
Yes, that is what you are saying.
No, I was asking what's that.
No, you literally just said that. I just heard you say that.
I was asking.
I have it on tape.
No, you have it on.
What are you asking me?
Wait, is it digital?
What are you asking me?
I totally forgot where we're going now.
What you were saying?
I have a.
This ain't how you get out of it. I remember everything.
Yeah.
You were talking about the female friend.
Well, she. That's right. She. Basically, she gets like anxiety with like reaching out to people because like there's always that thought of like she doesn't want to like be annoying.
Man,
or,
that's rude.
I know. How dare she?
Dare she be alive? But go ahead.
No,
That's it.
That was the end of my.
Oh my
thing.
god,
I was
that wasn't
adding-
even worth adding to it. I just wanted to relate to what you were saying. Thanks for the empathy. No, relate. I wanted to relate. I don't give a crap how you feel.
Yeah.
What happened?
At no point in our friendship have I ever felt like there was like,
You with the girl?
No, you and I.
Oh god, I hate you.
Like that you never reaching out, like never like even like registered with me, like because like I feel like I definitely reached out to you more than you like reached out to me.
You'll always reach out to me more than I'll reach out to you.
And
just
like
because.
that just that whole thing like never even like registered though, because like when we start talking, like over the entire time that I've known you, even like when I moved to LA, like there are people that like I spoke with, I was like I consider like my best friends out here that I've like lost touch with, and like you were like one of the very few people that I met on Long Island that like stayed in constant contact like the entire time that I was out there, and like me being the initiator in most of those conversations never even like registered as a thing, because like whenever we had conversations, it was always like, deep and meaningful. Even when we were just like messing around, like there was always
Talking
value.
about penis,
yeah, especially the penis, because
my dog is named Penis. But go ahead.
Yeah,
my little schnauzer.
It's it's biblical.
It is biblical.
I believe the Hebrew word is schmeckle.
Schmeckle. Oh look, Schmeckle, come here, baby. Be careful with Schmeckle's head. It's a little sore. Don't pet around the eyes.
He's a little tender.
But honestly, if you didn't reach out to me, I probably wouldn't talk to you. But that's not because I didn't want to talk to you. It's just because I don't. It's so hard for me to reach out to anyone. It's not in my. But this is the thing. Like, I tell people I am always around, and I'm always present, but I don't necessarily. In my silence, I am always present and always around, but I'm not necessarily going to make the effort to talk with anyone simply because I am burdened with such a chronic depression. But if I had if my job was I had to follow up with you, or like we were working on something, I will be there. I will make it. I will go out of my way to make sure, because again, it falls back on that. I will give 1,000% of myself to anything I agree to do. But if it's just like,
if you're doing it just for the sake of the friendship, it's not, you won't necessarily do it. But the point I was trying to make though is that like I don't understand how anyone could even say that to you, because it's like
easy. They're selfish. I could do it too. I wish people would contact me all the time, but they don't. But I made peace with that because I'm an adult. Like that's the thing. We create values of behavior upon other people without realizing our own behaviors a majority of the time. I know I'm not going to reach out to you, so I don't expect anyone to reach out to me. However, if you reach out to me, I'm going to give you 1,000% of my time,
because that person is reaching out to you
until I have to, but I'm very clear. I got to go back to work. But
you're like, I really got to poop right now.
In turn, I expect if I reach out to you to give me 1,000% of your time. However, the majority of people who reach out to me, and I'm okay with this because of my area of expertise, 99% of the time, it's how are you doing? Can you help me with? Or how you doing? I need advice. And to be fair, a majority of the reasons you kept in touch with me is, hey Tom, I have this thing. What are your thoughts? And I would answer without hesitation. I do it to people I don't even like. Like there's people that message me all the time, and it's like, this is all you talk to me. Like you do not care about me. Which is fine, because that's who I am. I'm just here to inform people. But people don't reach out to me unless they want something, or they're trying to maintain a relationship for something they do want, or they have a relationship hoping that I will involve them in something that I will be doing. Which, there is that 1% where I'm like, well, you're related to me, so you have to talk to me. But I don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm aware of it, but I don't care because I'm an adult. Like, my brain I'm able to. People sometimes have pointed out that like I have very Buddhist kind of like methods to my madness, but I'm not a Buddhist. Like if someone dies, I'm not affected by it. Like I'm not like if I'm sad or upset they're dead, it's not of loss or that like I'm not gonna have them. It's it hurts that they died,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't feel anything for the loss. Like to me, they still exist. They're still and people are like, well, that's very Buddhist, but also very like dark. And I'm like, it's not. Why is it dark to be understanding?
Well, because it's dark for them because they got the lights off,
Because they're not
metaphorically
adults.
speaking.
Anytime you get mad at anyone for doing something, you're not an adult. I do not believe somebody that demands your behavior reflects what they think it should be while they do not perform the same behavior is not an adult. You need to behave this way because my heart and soul needs to feel a certain balance of a certain base. And if you do not reflect that base, you are an evil human being for your actions.
Well, I am angered and offended that you are so well balanced.
Me too. But again, it comes down to like, oh, that person said they said like Bill Burr just recently said something at the Grammys, and he said some Spanish woman's gonna hear that and get mad at me. Like he made an off the cuff joke, and they're like, he's a racist. He's married to a black woman. Not that doesn't make you racist, because I know a black guy who says he likes dating only white women with the hopes of getting them pregnant so he can abandon them with a black child. And he's works to doing this.
Yeah, that is messed up.
So being with somebody of a different race does not necessarily make you racist or not racist. However, Bill Burr is a comedian. Everything he says may not hit all the time, but is meant to be a joke. And I might not be a joke you like,
but it is a joke.
It is 100. A joke is not intentional.
A joke is a joke.
The intention of a joke is to be like, I'm trying to get people to laugh. I know not everyone will. My hope is that the majority of people laugh, but I know there are going to be some people that don't, and that's okay, right? If no one laughs,
for different folks, as they say,
different jokes. But the idea to take offense to anything a comedian says is by far the least adult thing I've ever seen our society handle. It's not like he's saying anything with conviction.
He's not saying it with the intent of, he's not saying it with the intent of spreading hate.
Yeah. Like the bit about beating women. He's like, when people say there's no reason to hit a woman, no reason. Are you sure there's no reason to hit? I'm not saying you should hit a woman. I'm not saying that. Look, I lost the room. Just hear me. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you should. You should hit a woman, but say no reason. No reason.
And then it goes off on like a whole tirade of like.
Let me give you an example. You marry a woman, you work 40 years, 30 years of your life, you pay off this big mansion of a house, you give her kids, she doesn't have to work, she stays home, and then she sleeps with the gardener and then divorces you, and you got to give her half your stuff. And there's no reason. No reason. But it's not like he was deeply believes that the basis of that is an observation to the insanity. That's all comedy is. It's an observation to the insanity of reality, and it's about picking apart that reality and looking at it in a way,
a different lens.
Yeah, in a skewed queer eye. And not queer as in like how we represent the word queer, but literally queer, a different, changed eye. Whatever. But altered.
But the idea is also to do it with a humorous spin. So this way it's not just meant to be like necessarily like
jokes are not meant to be humorous. Jokes can be humorous, but jokes are supposed to do what I said. That it's supposed to take something and really observe the insanity of reality. And if you laugh with it, great. But a joke's job isn't to be like, if you write like, two guys walk into a bar, you think one of them would have noticed. Like, yeah. That's you're not writing that to be humorous. you're writing that to trick the mind. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're it's like writing if you're writing a song, I'm writing this song because I want to I'm writing it so people will become emotional when they listen. Well, then that song is going to be crap. You know what I'm saying? Like if you write a song with purpose that is not about how I'm going to influence people. Like I'm not writing a joke to be humorous for you. I'm not trying to make you laugh. I'm trying to talk about something that has value in what I see, and then if you laugh with it, that is a reward. That's the win. But George Carlin, if you watch his comedy routines, a majority of the time you're listening in awe of like, wow, he's got me thinking. And then there's like this 1 or 2 bit moment where you just can't stop laughing because he turns it around, he twists it around, and you start seeing his observation, and that makes you laugh. But he's not trying to be humorous. He's trying to get you to think. He's trying to throw apart the system. You know, it's the whole thing with I worship the sun because I can see it, but I pray to Joe Pesci because he looks like a guy who could get things done. He's not saying that to be humorous. He's saying that because it's to prove his point about how he can't believe in religion because, first of all, I don't see anything. You know, like that's his point. Like I tried. I really tried. You know, I went to Catholic. I tried to believe in the big boogeyman. You know, like he talks about it, and then he breaks down that observation. Anyway, you don't care.
I do. It's this is the I'm taking things in and absorbing like a sponge face.
Let's see. I'm trying to be humorous, and you're not laughing.
It's
very funny.
Can we get like a little laugh button?
Yeah, it's called the JD. What I do is I poke on him, and he goes. But anyway, back to offense. You know, I think taking back control over your status, like your truth, helps with like my mental health issue is chronic depression. So I had to figure out ways to to work through my episodes, or you know, whatever the case may be, and the way people act influence my depression. Not that they make me depressed, but like if I'm on a low wave, if I'm on a low tide, whatever, it's gonna be bad, right?
Mhm.
So I have to be able to kind of like organize their behavior by justifying the truth. And the truth is they can do whatever they want as long as they don't break my 3 rules, you know? So
Don't hurt, don't lie,
yeah, and don't
put pineapple on pizza.
4 rules. By the way, isn't it funny that everything that's a safe word is pineapple? And I told you a long time ago, pineapple is always the safe word. And you're like, but why? How? That's not true.
Why is it always a safe word?
Like,
it's a pineapple.
Think about it. Would you put a pineapple up your ass?
No.
See? Pineapple!
Pineapple!
If someone took hey, I'm going to stick something up your butt. Oh, yeah, let's do this. And they take out a pineapple. You're going to go, pineapple. No. That's the line. No pineapples. That's why you say pineapple. It's not why, but it's funny. But behavior. Yeah, let's put it on the wall. Behavior. Remember, you're in control of your behavior. You're not in control of others' behavior. You are not responsible for the control of other people's behavior. And that's a form of finding success in life too, is how do we get to the top of our careers if we're expecting everyone to behave
like us
in a way we're not choosing to behave ourselves? Again, if you behave a certain way and you want people to behave, you know, accordingly to that behavior, that I don't think is insane. Like if I'm being nice to you, I'm hopeful you'll be nice to me. If you're not, I can make the choice of not being around you, but I can't make the choice to choose to force you to be nice to me. And if you're not nice to me, your life should be destroyed. Well, you said things I didn't like. You were mean to me. You told me, you know, I saw your eyes. They looked at my nose and they should have been on my eyes the whole time. And I feel, you know, you didn't give me the respect. So, you know, and things like that would be crazy. You know, I don't care what people say to me. What are we going to do? When I was in school, people were like, I slept with your mom. I go, you're a year younger than me. Go to math class. You know, like I didn't care. I would just.
You'd be like, Okay.
Yeah, there was this one kid though that came into class, and he walked up to me, and I was sitting down. He slapped me in the head. So then I stood up, and I was like a foot and a half taller than him,
Hmm.
because he didn't have a growth spurt yet. And I says, everyone gets one warning because nobody hurts me, right? And he's like, I'm gonna get my brother to kick your ass. And I was like, okay, I'm in this room. So I sat down. The kid comes back and he goes, right over there. Kid peeks his head and he looks. His brother slaps him in the head, and he goes, "Don't mess with Tom. Tom is cool."
That's
Because
really
I was really good friends with his brother in school.
That's really funny.
Yeah. So that's what happens.
So treat people with respect and don't smack them in the head.
You gotta treat every single person, by the way, who's tried to get someone else to come after me, except for one person, has turned out to be somebody that like knew me or I knew them, and then the person who was like, "You gotta," would get
in trouble from that
yeah,
person.
would get in trouble.
I'd be like, no.
This is ridiculous. Whatever. So anyway, that's it.
I think that's about it.
Oh, did you have examples you wanted to get? I know you work for like hours on these notes, so
Well,
you listened to your music and you wrote out some notes. What you got?
that's it.
You got any bullet points? You want to say the Ryan Reynolds thing? I know you got excited about that. You got pretty excited.
Yeah, we're good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is actually a trans girl who converted to a guy.
Totally. You heard it here first, guys.
What is it? What is it on MTV?
Or like any like flash news, like
Oh, yeah.
bum, bum, bum.
You heard
It's always
it here.
something that sounds like, oh my god, what's about to happen?
You know what's crazy about Ryan Reynolds?
Craziness.
Yeah, that's the show.
The end.
Ryan Reynolds is an actor who has a production company,
A liquor
company, and a cell phone company.
And he got Rick Moranis out of retirement.
That's exciting too. But he diversified. He got himself into a position of power so he can do other things.
Yeah, he got himself into a position of power within his field of interest, and then also branched out to other industries.
The way he's using the other industries is within. Hugh Jackman helped advertise his liquor, and they did commercials together.
Well, doesn't Hugh Jackman, I think, also has another thing, and they did the cross.
He has. I'm not sure if it's coffee or.
I forget what it is.
It's definitely not. I don't think it's liquor, but
I'm not going to use my computer so it doesn't go crazy.
So it doesn't go crazy. Where the hell's my thing? Let me see. What do we got? What do we got here? Let's see.
Piece of candy?
Hugh
Jackman.
Company.
Hugh Jackman?
Coffee. Yeah, coffee company. I knew I was right. I'm always right. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has a gin company, and
he has a coffee company.
He has a coffee company called Laughing Man Coffee Company.
Interesting.
It was formed in 2011 with former criminal prosecutor David Steingard.
I really just wanted to be former criminal.
I mean, I was hoping that too. How can I contact Hugh Jackman? You cannot.
Is that really one of the questions on there?
No, it's actually can be done by using this contact number. He lives in LA. What is this? The address is Roger and Cohen Public Relations Agency. Ew. Oh, you would call that. That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
I should contact him and be like, look, I got a project. I think you'd be terrible for.
I just wanted to call you and be like, hey.
Yeah, can you just
also can we have some coffee?
Can you just sign my band? I'm
this is a coffee company?
Yeah, but we love coffee. We love coffee. They did do a funny commercial though, where like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, they did like a commercial and they were revealing the commercial to each other. Mm-hmm. But there was supposed to be a truce between them. Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds like, you go first, Jackman. And he's like, no, I insist, you go first. And he's like, all right, fine. So Ryan Reynolds commercial plays, and it's like this beautifully empathetic and compassionate commercial about his coffee. And then Hugh Jackman's just like, oh.
I thought this was supposed to be like a roast.
Yeah, we don't have to show I'm still filming it. And he's like, no, just show it. And he's like, oh God. So he shows it, and he literally just pours the gin, and then he puts the gin on its side, and it's just pouring out. And he's like, he's just ripping at Ryan Reynolds, and then he ends with, but the gin's okay.
Oh God,
so funny.
That is really funny.
So funny. Of all the men of Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, who would you sleep with
Ryan Reynolds.
sexually? Ryan, you didn't even think about it. Is it because
He's the
he's
cuddler.
younger? Oh, wait, what?
He's the cuddler.
What do you mean he's the cuddler?
Well, one's Wolverine, one's Deadpool.
They're both cuddlers.
Mm,
Haven't you seen Hugh Jackman?
yeah, he's got those claws.
Yeah, to scrape you up.
Yeah, not my
I
thing.
thought you liked being scratched.
No.
You told me that you like when bears rip your skin off. You called the Leonardo DiCaprio.
I said I barely enjoyed it.
Oh. Hey,
Uh-uh.
baby, can you do the Caprio? Just rip some chunks of meat out of my back. I'm just gonna lay there like I'm dying.
Just turn me into bacon. Just flip me over.
Yeah.
Just like,
Then throw me into a dirt pile and leave me for dead. Yeah, the Caprio.
oh yeah.
I love DiCaprio. What's the Reynolds? You just make a quick whip. Quick whip. Quick whip. Quietly, quick whip. Quick whip, quietly. Quick whip, quietly. Say that 3 times fast. Quick, quietly. Quick whip, quietly.
Oh, piece of candy.
That's a quaint, quick whip, quietly.
I am so tongue tied just listening to you.
That's funny. That's
What do
funny.
you want for dinner?
I don't know. I feel like you're attacking my mental health.
When did you get one of those?
Look, I want pizza. I told you. Anytime you ask me what I want, I'm literally gonna say,
all right,
pizza.
Let's go rent the car. Let's get pizza.
I would do that. You want to rent the car? I'll see you back here.
Go for a ride?
No. If you had to kill yourself,
Hypothetically.
would you?
I mean,
you had to.
if I had to, do I have a choice here?
Oh Jesus, you want to talk about it? You feel sounds suicidal. Let's call somebody.
I gotta
Oh,
go.
do you have the suicide hotline? You might as well talk about that.
I don't have the number up here.
Oh God, you can't even look it up. I got it. Sue, I have it on save.
Wait, what?
I have it saved here. Suicide hotline. Boop, there it goes. All right. Anyone with listen, life is not really worth living, but it doesn't mean you should give up hope because a lot of stupid things could happen. Like the next episode of I don't make this stuff up. So call this number 631. What's your number? No. Call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. That's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, Lifeline. If, by the way, if you don't need it, send it to somebody else. But I would preference that I was thinking about you and remember you're still loved, and send. Don't just send it and then they just call the number and then they call it up and they're like, "This is people think I want to, I don't want to just kill what does my friends think about me?" Preference. It'd be like, "Hey, listen, man, I think you deserve. It's funny. I look up sometimes how to kill yourself, and the first thing that pops up is this particular number, right?
I mean,
but like nothing cool about how to kill yourself pops up.
It's probably a good thing though.
No, it's not, because then I got to do like deep search. I have to be like hanging yourself, and then like this number pops up again. And I'm like, I don't want to hang myself, but how would I do it? And then this number pops up second. And I go, how does one drown themselves as a joke? And then I just take out the joke part in the instructions.
And then pops up.
Right? What else they got here? National Crisis Hotline. I think it's the same thing. Let's see.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Also, if you need to call 911, just call 411 and ask for information.
For the number for 911.
Yeah, they'll give you the operator. What is a hotline phone number? Nowadays, a hotline is a telecoms or refers to a phone number used for large-scale incoming calls, often in times of urgency, without fear of a service disruption. These days, hotlines are commonly set up as exceptional and special event lines to connect people in need for specific information sources. We should call the hotline up and see what it sounds like.
Like, hey, how you doing?
Like you walk through like a suicide prevention thing. Like you just talk about how I just want to kill myself.
And then just write it down for research?
Like do it on the show. And they'll be like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm like, I feel like wasting the suicide hotline time. Because if I want to kill myself, maybe other people do. And like they're not able to get in because,
I'm here.
I'm
instead.
here. and I'm just talking, and I'm just trying not to die. And they'd be like, "Well, actually, we have like enough people. Like it's never going to be busy." What? Why am I calling you?
This is rigged.
I'm out of here. What do you mean out of here? You're not gonna kill you? No,
I am now.
Now I am. This is terrible. Terrible. No, I want to. I always thought about doing pranks because of
To the suicide hotline?
no, just to anybody.
Oh, okay.
Because of the Jerky Boys, and then do you remember the Jerky Boys? They would not be able to do what they did because they do accents and stuff like that, and they would get in trouble for the accents because people
ridiculous.
can't be adults. That guy's doing an accent of another race. Oh, never mind. That guy's doing an accent of another race, and he's not that race, so that's racist. No, he's just being
Making
stupid.
Yeah.
Well, you do it in your privacy of your home, so you're a racist. No.
It's being
Racism is when
they're
you
spreading
persecute
hate.
others through hate and ill behavior for a person's race. If I don't ever do that,
then you're not being racist.
yeah. If I look at somebody walking by me and whatever race they are, I hold my pocketbook tight. It's mostly because I think you're transgender, phobe. I think you're what is it? Transphobe?
Transphobic.
I think you have transphobia, not because of your race.
You're like, I just think you hate trans people.
Yeah, because I look identical to my mother, so you might think I am a woman in transition.
I mean, that is a valid point. You are
Actually. I look like
close
my
to say.
father more, except for my beard. My beard is nice.
I thought you were about to say like your beard is from your mom.
I mean, she has a beard. All Sicilian women have beards. Look at me, Jesus.
It is very beardy.
I look fat.
Oh my God, you don't look fat.
Look how hairy I am.
I mean, you have a beard.
Oh, see, I'm fat.
What?
Why do you grow a beard?
To
look like me?
No, well, right now because it's winter and I'd like
It
to
is
keep my
not
face.
winter.
Yes.
It's March.
Well, it's all Ohio where it snows in
March
the summer.
Madness. Your beard is madness. Do you only grow a beard during the winter?
No. Sometimes I just like.
So then why the hell? Well, first of all, it's winter.
No, I said.
That has nothing to do with anything.
I said right now it is winter.
And what does that have to do with you growing your beard?
I like to not be cold when I go outside.
You don't go outside
To take out the trash.
Listen, you leave your exes out of this.
I mean, that's why I take them out.
I don't talk about my exes.
Well, that's why I take them out. So this way I leave them out.
Would you date your exes? Any one of them? Would you marry any of your exes?
No.
Would you have sex with all of them at the same time?
Definitely no. Dear God, no.
Which one specifically? No. So why do you have your beard?
To keep away the exes, obviously.
Do you like
Fun
growing
fact:
your beard?
every one of my exes is not a fan of my beard.
Really? Maybe that's why they're your exes.
I mean, that's probably one reason.
Oop.
I go back and forth between having the beard and not having the beard. Sometimes it's like, I want a beard. Sometimes I don't.
You should shave your head.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want to.
Why?
I like having long hair.
For now. I've seen your father.
Oh,
Good luck. Good luck. Was your grandfather bald?
His father was not bald.
Jesus.
Both grandfathers were not bald. My dad's dad had a receding hairline, and my mom's dad had thinning hair.
Would you rather not go bald and your penis shrinks?
I mean, I'd rather the other way, where I would rather lose the hair and keep the penis not shrinking.
You would rather keep your hair?
No, I'd rather not keep the hair.
You rather go bald than have your penis shrink?
I mean,
why is that?
Well, I would like my penis to stay the same size.
But if you have inches to spare.
Well, how much are we talking about shrinking? Normally, when you say shrinking for these hypotheticals,
half size.
So
according to you, it'd be average.
I mean,
if it's strong hand.
It's my strong hand.
Take my strong. Can you do this real quick? Can you do this?
Am I looking at my hand?
Just put your hand up. No, put it up. Let me see your hand. Yeah, I figured. His anxiety is now at 80.
Oh God!
I'm gonna look at my hand. You know, if you put your hand on your face and it's bigger than your face, I'm gonna slap it
into me.
So you just have the beard because you like it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate my beard. I just don't like shaving.
I mean, that makes sense.
I grow it as long as I can, and then like I'll trim it, and then I'll do it again.
So you have the beard, so basically you can go really long periods of time without shaving.
Yeah, that's it.
That makes sense.
That's literally the only reason. I used to shave it like into shapes. I used to like
Yeah, because I remember when I first met you, would have like all the.
I would do different things. I would grow this really long, and then now I just don't care.
The one time you wrote the entire Declaration of Independence into one cheek.
Which is funny because I was wearing pants at the time. I was like, I see, no, I did that on my ass hands. So you don't. So you would rather be bald to maintain the integrity of your penis size, but you don't want to shave your beard.
At the moment, I'm probably going to shave it once it stops being cold.
So the winter does have a factor in it.
Well, right now it does.
But your beard's not big enough for it to be like.
There's definitely a difference between hair on the face and no hair on the face.
Would you think my beard protected me from the wind more than yours?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because you have a thicker beard.
I do have a thicker beard. I think I grow in. Yeah, you don't grow in everywhere.
I missed the little over here.
Yeah, you missed where men grow. You have you don't have the man beard. You have like the I hit puberty beard. Hey, Dad, look! I got little tiny hairs on my side of my lips.
It's more like, hey, Dad, I have a new beard.
Look, Dad. Hey, corner of my bush. When people told you were going to grow hair all over your body, you're like, I'm just going to shave it. Or you're like, yeah, I can't wait.
I don't remember having much of an opinion. I was like, all right.
Did they ever have that conversation with you?
Yeah. But like, I don't remember really having much of an opinion.
Did they ever go, if you want to shave it, I'll show you how? And you were like, yeah, of course. That's pretty cool. And then they would just hold your thing and just shave your nuts.
Man, that only happened 14 times.
Has anyone ever shaved your nuts other than you? You don't trust anybody.
I don't.
First of all, you don't talk to anyone if they have zero value. And you don't let anyone shave your nuts. You got trust issues, buddy.
I mean, I definitely do.
Why don't you? Would you trust me to shave your nuts?
No.
Really? I think I would do a good job. I don't think I would nick you.
I don't trust you to shave my nuts because knowing you, you'd be like, you know, what embarrassing thing can I shave into his nuts?
No, because see, I wouldn't, because that would be on purpose. See, and I wouldn't do that to hurt you. See, you know that I wouldn't break my rule. I mean, I definitely would make jokes about the size of your penis while I was shaving it, so that's gonna happen. But like, but I don't think I would hurt you. I think it'd be good. Yeah.
Achoo!
Where? Here?
Terrible news, JD.
No, not a Jew. Achoo.
I have good news, JD. I finished the job that the Moyle started. Also, I'm going to go get some gauze.
You know what I noticed while shaving your nuts? What? You bleed a lot. Have you ever shaved a girl down there?
I have never shaved a girl down.
Really? Jesus, no one trusts you either. I've done that. That's fun. You tie them up, you know, and they start screaming for their family. And you just shave, you know. And then like 3 months later, you let them go dead, you know, just in a puddle. You never killed anyone? Jesus. What a loser.
So vanilla, JD.
Yeah. Yeah, you're vanilla with your sexual experience. If you can't kill somebody while giving yourself an orgasm, you're selfish.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know when people laugh so hard, that's the noise. Oh, my God. Oh, stop it. Oh, my God. See, I can fake it. I've faked every orgasm I've given myself while self-masturbating. I just wanted to get it over with.
Was it convincing?
Yeah, I convinced myself. I was just like, oh, yeah, no, I finished. And then just wipe it off on your towel and just leave. You faked your own orgasms. You know what? I think I had one. I think I'm done. I gotta get working. I gotta get back to doing some work, write my songs.
No, that was an easy cleanup.
Tom, is masturbating work or creative time? I think it's a little both. I think it's a little both because it takes a lot of work to do it, and it's kind of creative. Is working? Is writing music or masturbating? Which ones work? Well, after listening to your songs, I would say writing music is definitely work. Anyway, mental health.
On that note, it's dinner time.
Yeah, we gotta go eat.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Wait, let me close that out.
Oh,
Let me close that out.
what are we doing?
Can I shrink that? I can't.
Yeah, can you shrink it? Where'd it go? Where am I?
Oh, do we have to do the thing? I don't make this stuff up.
Yeah. This has been Thomas J. Bellezza.
And this has been Thomas J. Bellezza.
Wait, what?
Oh, by the way, if you want to check out JD's music, go to makearightlefthear.com. You'll hear all the latest and greatest songs acoustically.
From El Tanyan.
From who?
What?
By the wait.
El Tanyan on the battlefield.
All right. We're out of here.
Bye, everybody.
Well, not everybody. Some people that we don't talk to. If you haven't heard from us in like 2 or 3 months, we're not saying goodbye to you.